What's up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I'm back with another episode of Straight Talk with Trevor.
Because the ladies from Pour Your Heart Out
no topic
will be over
is
here
off
to
limits.
join the panel.
But it's a must, you gon' respect this. Plus your nuts will touch the dust, you try to check this. You ain't
The
insane.
MMA brothers, Bones and Zay, have pre and post shows to the MMA shows. And I am your host, Mr. Straight Talk, the man with the greatest beard on YouTube.
I'm gonna tell you something. Facial hair is not apostolic. However you want to cut it, it's compromise. I don't care if your leader says you can wear a beard, honey. Beard's nothing more than pride. You're not going to be dipped in Holy Ghost oil and run around looking like the world.
Oh, I love throwing that in there. Real quick, I am back on Facebook. I guess they took me out of jail. I was able to connect the channel back. Those of you on Facebook, make sure and hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
And also, on Mondays, 6 o'clock, tune in to the same channel for Man Talk Monday. Trust me, you ain't got nothing better to do. Even if you think you do and you tune into that show, you're going to realize, oh, man,
okay,
I've been missing this.
Yeah. Because this is why you need me.
Once you listen to that, drop a like. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel because you're hard-headed, go ahead and subscribe to it now.
They are goofy.
And when you listen to that, if you haven't subscribed, you're going to want to subscribe. And then you're going to want to go back through the archives. And you're going to want to catch up on all your Man Talk Mondays. And then you might be able to find a few Bible debates in there.
That's what I'm going to say. TFP politics is on Tuesday.
Vancat, Mike, MD, and Ricardo do such a fantastic job with that. That's every Tuesday at 6 o'clock.
My position is impregnable. You can't do it.
If that doesn't fancy your boat,
yeah, Wrestling with Reality on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, acknowledge.
We have the return of Straight Talk Therapy sessions with the one and only Dr. Mia. So y'all be sure and tune into that.
And then you got the Bible debates on Thursdays.
So yeah, man, lock in with the Straight Talk Society, man, because you won't regret it, and we appreciate it. Also, milk coming out too. Look out for the merch. And if y'all can be so kind as to subscribe to the channel, it's only $1.99 a month. With all this premium content that we pushing out, it's definitely worth it. It just helps provide the channel with a resource to give y'all even better content, as if it can get better, right? But just go ahead and show us some love. We would be greatly appreciative.
The Straight Talk Society. We will not go over that 2.5 hour mark. So, Mike, you ain't got no shirt on, right?
I never have clothes on, bro.
But I'm saying you like right on the like crazy.
My bad. I don't like clothes, bro. Anybody that knows me, my fault.
I just shot myself.
Do you really believe that garbage?
It's not about a believing, it's a matter of fact.
So you believe
nobody else could make a decision but me because I was the president, and the final decision comes to the president.
You know, it's easy enough for a Monday morning quarterback to say what the coach should have done after the game's over. But when the decision is up before you, and on my desk I have a motto which says the buck stops here, the decision has to be made.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I could say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
President?
Yep.
Mr. President, I want to raise an issue that I think you've been lurking out there for 2 or 3 weeks and casting specifically in national security terms. You already are the oldest president in history, and some of your staff say you retired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall yet that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you would be able to function in such circumstances?
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience.
And I'm the one who will not raise taxes. My opponent now says he'll raise them as a last resort or a third resort. But when a politician talks like that, you know that's one resort he'll be checking into. And my opponent won't rule out raising taxes, but I will, and the Congress will push me to raise taxes, and I'll say no. And they'll push, and I'll say no. And they'll push again, and I'll say to them, read my lips. No new
Oh shit. Here we go again.
You're full of shit.
All right, thank you.
No, shush. Shush.
In any country, prison is where society sends its failures. But in this country, society itself is failing.
I'd like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
We won the evangelicals. We won with young. We won with old. We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
You crazy.
Grab him by the pussy.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Stay shut your mouth. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I did.
Hold it, tough guy. I'm not afraid of physical. Hold it.
Don't sit there and tell me I'm not.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. You fool me, we can't get fooled again.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. Stand back and stand by. Will you shut up?
Last thing was Olivia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her pussy. Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life tour. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
You got to come see us when you come to New York, VP Biden.
I will.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Okay. I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
I went to an Ivy League school. I'm very highly educated. I know words. I have the best words. We now have a gun on every table. We're ready to start shooting.
By the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm. That would take care of it. This is the same man.
Sarcastically.
That was...
Even though they're trying to impeach the son of a bitch. Can you believe that? You believe that? That's enough. Put down the mic.
President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
Punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
If I may ask
Peter,
one other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President, I was going to ask one of the
I don't want reality. I'm asking the question, which one is better? That's exactly what it is.
Got it on tape.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
I don't like words that hide the truth. I don't like words that conceal reality. I don't like euphemisms or euphemistic language. And American English is loaded with euphemisms because Americans have a lot of trouble dealing with reality. Americans have trouble facing the truth. So they invent a kind of a soft language to protect themselves from it. And it gets worse with every generation. For some reason, it just keeps getting worse.
How stupid are these politicians to allow this to happen?
If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every poll?
No, sit down.
You're a clown.
Sit down.
Look at you.
You're saying it's a falsehood, and they're giving Sean Spicer, our press secretary, gave alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts. Alternative facts.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your...
All right, here we go again. Another Tuesday, and that means it's TFP Tuesday. And on this Tuesday, we are on episode 29. And today we discuss the politics of food. I'm Venkat, and once again, I'm joined by the world's most dangerous political panel. And of course, on the panel today, we have MD20. What's going on, MD?
Peace, peace, peace. What's going on? What's happening? What's happening?
Well, according to MD's channel, a lot is happening. My God.
You're a riot, man. You're a riot, man.
I just can't get over it. I can't get over it. But it's great. It's great stuff. Anybody not know what I'm talking about, please just after this show, go to MD's channel on YouTube. Check out his latest video. Check out all the videos, but definitely check out that latest video. Stay till the end. It's priceless. And also on the panel, we got, of course, Ricardo. What's going on, Ricardo?
Peace, peace, peace. Amuse MD's Lions. Peace, 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 everybody. How we doing? Yes, very delightful day so far with Venkat's commentary regarding MD's page. It's a delight. So yeah, everybody, if you have the time, please check out MD's page. It's there's a lot going on, but it's very insightful. Very, very insightful day.
All right. Thank you, Ricardo. So today we're going to take a look at developments in this situation with Iran. The bully now got punched in the mouth, Israel. So we're going to take a look at that, just a little look at it. We're also going to be looking at our lame duck. That'll be lame duck number 34. And we may go through some other news articles. But again, like we were saying, what we're here for is the politics of food. So with food in general and the politics behind it, there's so many ways, so many angles we can go about it. We'll dive into at least 3 news articles or videos on this. So without any further ado, let's go to our first video and then we'll start the conversation.
This morning, with so many food items disguised as healthy, it's often hard to know what's really good for you and what's not. Well, here are a few things to look out for.
Despite our best intentions to eat healthy, we sometimes fall short when it comes to making the right selections. But how do you know what to avoid? Well, for starters, skip the frozen dinners. Yes, they're easy and convenient, but they're also filled with preservatives, lots of sodium, and very few vegetables. You may be tempted to order a salad at a fast food restaurant, but think twice. Toppings like croutons, nuts, and dressings can add up the calorie count. And when cruising the snack aisle at the grocery store, don't be so quick to grab those veggie chips. The veggies are cut thin and then processed, removing much of the nutritional value. Can't go wrong with fruits, right? Well, when it comes to fruit cocktails, apparently you can. Most are made with a sugary syrup that adds 0 nutritional value. A lot of people would consider a tea a healthy beverage, but some bottled teas usually contain artificial flavorings.
Now, don't be fooled by some of the fat-free items like yogurt as well. Many popular brands have as much as 15 grams of sugar in one single serving. Best advice, always check the nutrition content or ask to see one.
All right, there we go. We're back here. So in that little clip, essentially, we left the clip being told pretty much we have to be scientists and professors of food to be able to know how to eat right. So this is one of the biggest problem. We have a situation where in this country we have so much processed food, so many foods that are perceived to be unhealthy, or tampered with, and then there have attributes that are not as beneficial or healthy for us to begin with. So a lot of people just throw their hands up and just say whatever, or they're inadvertently damaging themselves. So in this country especially, we have issues because of our politics where we don't have a straightforward line as far as where healthy begins and where bad ends. So we'll start with Ricardo. Ricardo, what's your viewpoint here on that piece going over some of the deceiving healthy foods in the supermarket?
Yeah, the foods that we are privy to nowadays, we have a tendency to see a lot of foods be very in the lighter sense of term, like very expensive, and we're not able to some people are not able to afford the healthier food, which is weird. I've never understood understood the contrast between eating unhealthy food and eating foods that are healthy. Why is one food group expensive than the other? And a certain part of the population, if you think about it, because we're in an inflationary year or any other time, cannot afford these foods that are healthier, and that doesn't make sense. Maybe I need to put on my tin hat here, like MD would usually say, and try to figure out if the food industry is being manipulated somehow, which wouldn't surprise me. But you have a lot of things that are at play, like GMOs, and you have a lot of subsidies from the farmers and all of that wrapped up in one. Yeah, even my daughter agrees. But it's kind of baffling why you know we're privy or eat that certain foods are easily accessible, but they're not healthy for us. Whereas the healthy food is more expensive, and some people can't afford to purchase it. So it's like weird. It's a weird conundrum that us, the population, face, and we don't know why that is. I don't know, but yeah, this is it's an interesting news piece article.
All right, thank you, Ricardo. MD, what's your take on the situation we're faced with in this country, pretty much, uh, with the food options that we have?
Um, yeah, I agree for the most part with what Ricardo said, but sticking to the topic of that particular video you played, I do believe that there should be more of a streamlined way of how we look at ingredients in food. I think looking at it now compared to what it was, let's say, I don't know, 20 years ago, yeah, it's an improvement. But, to what you said, Van Cat, as far as like the layman term of what exactly we eating, I think is flawed. I think we should have a clear cut explanation as to what the things are that's allowing whatever particular food product to be preserved in a store in which we go and buy groceries. You know what I mean? I think the FDA and whoever else involved has done a horrible job in doing that. Now, on the same token, I get it because in a world where we consume products in a fast-paced environment, there's no way that like it's technically impossible in the way that we live today. Taking myself for example, I'm a truck driver. I wouldn't be able to survive if it wasn't for frozen food and stuff that's preserved because I don't have the time to pull out a hot plate or a grill and chop vegetables and all like I'm Yan Can cook or something. I don't have the time for it. That's no fault of anybody else. It's what I signed up for. But it would be nice to have a better understanding as far as what I'm consuming. I totally get it. That's why I'm all for not necessarily full blown privatization of those industries, but at least have the competition where you have the FDA, which is an administrative independent body, shouldn't be the only people that has the authority to say what's what in regards to what we eat. There should be competition in terms of competing for the value of the information of the food we eat. So if I was to change my stance on some of the things that we've said before, y'all know I'm all about private business, private ownership. I am. But I can totally understand in a situation where you have an administrative entity, such as the FDA, just use that example, should not be the only independent entity in which we solely go off of the guidelines that they push. I think if it was more volume in that industry, I think you would have a better, I guess you would say, a better understanding of nutritional guidelines. But I'll leave it at that for now.
All right, thank you, MD. So now joining us on the panel, we have Jeremy Dunbar and we have, wait for it, others De La Yum Yum. So
The
we'll
correct
go.
That
pronunciation
don't
is
sound
day.
nutritional.
De La Yum Yum. Thank you.
De La Yum Yum. All right, so we'll start off with De La Yum Yum. What's your take on this topic we're dealing with here?
First, I would like to say hello to everyone, all four of you gentlemen. Thank you for having me. Uh, I am thoroughly appalled because I thought it was Tuesday and not Monday because I usually on Tuesday get to have a less adversarial relationship with MD. But apparently, we just gonna keep on not agreeing because he always wants to privatize something because in his mind, privatizing something will cure it of its ails. And in my mind, decorrupting things will cure them of their ail because the reason that these public things are corrupted is because of people who work in the private sector. All these lobbies, all these people, the cronies behind the scenes, paying the money, paying the the judges with the vacations, Clarence Thomas. Uh, all these people behind the scenes who are paying off the FDA to get their things through, to put the calories of a thing by serving size, then making the serving size 3 drops. So it doesn't look like that's what they're doing. It's the private people, the people who work for private companies who are doing all these horrible things, who are making all these loopholes so they can slide their garbage through. If we wanted to fix things, just make healthy, subsidize healthy crap. It's just that easy. And root out the garbage in the FDA. It's that easy. Like we don't if you privatize it, it's gonna be worse. They're gonna change the name. All I have to say is look at what they did to seafood. Look at what they did to seafood. Seafood was slave prisoner rations. They looked at lobster and crab as ugh. And once the private corporation got a hold of them and started pimping it and started selling their propaganda, now seafood is luxurious. That's what private companies do. They make up crap. They have you believe bottom feeders are the best food you could ever experience. What a culinary delight. It doesn't make it healthy. Doesn't make it better for you. They don't care about you being good. They don't care about your colon working. They don't care about you not having ED. They don't care about your kid having breasts and booty cheeks sticking out from here to there like a thought by the time she's 8.5. They don't care about that. They care about money. And that's what private corporations are going to do. So all we need to do is focus, subsidize healthy stuff, get rid of the corruption. That's it. It's easier said than done. I'm not acting like it's not, but it's not gonna help trying to run to the free market, which is what's MD's basically his MO, his modus operandi. And that's MD's MO. So I could just that could be his new name, MDMO. What up, MDMO? You good?
Not, nah, I ain't good because you just made up everything that you just said.
No,
If
sir.
you go
No,
back,
sir.
if you go back and listen to what I said in the beginning, I said yes, I would lean toward privatization, but in this case, that's the part that you missed. I said
No, no,
in
no.
this case, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, no, I heard you. I just chose to ignore it because I wanted
Yeah,
to yell at you.
that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Hey, if nobody tells the truth like Mike.
In this case, get it. But I still think there should be competition, even if it's a governmental
You Borgin, my boy.
Yeah, MD. I
shouldn't
think
just
you
be
got.
the FD.
Yeah, we lost you for a second, MD.
You're Borgin. But all right, so this seems like you kind of you want to agree with me and you want to come there. I know it's hard to do this because you're individualist, so I'm just
Hey,
gonna.
hold on. I'm stopping, so I'm about to park. Give me a second.
No problem. Take your time, my G. I'm gonna go ahead
All
and
right.
still make fun of you. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh well, since MD is gonna come back, let's go to Jeremy. How you doing, Jeremy? What's your take here on the panel?
I am doing well. Greetings to every one of you. It's nice to be back and to conversate with all of you guys. I think there's a multitude of problems and issues. It's quality. The quality is trash. It's been trash, and it goes all the way back to the farming. If you know anything about agriculture, the soil is the key to crops, which is the key to the meats, because those things that we eat end up feeding off of the grasses and things of that nature, like your beef and all that. And then the feed that they give it is all processed crap. So they're going cheap with garbage. They are not allowing the soil to replenish, which in turn is destroying the soil, which makes the crop less nutritious, which makes you have to eat more, which creates the obesity and unhealthy things. So they need to get rid of that and start farming the way they used to farm. And you have all of this land. There's no need for you to get greedy and continuously deplete and destroy the soil, which then destroys the crop, which then destroys the people. That's the problem. How you go about that? Oof, that's a tough question. Um, I'm not quite sure, so I'm not going to pretend like I know. But that is what needs to happen. It's the quality of the food source, and they go the cheap route because that's business 101. The same thing as, where the industries take the labor overseas to get it done cheaper to then bring it over here, and who knows what kind of crap you're bringing in. And it's a vicious cycle. Somehow that has to stop, if you ask me. Um, if you take, I was listening to this doctor who did a study on these like the nutritional value, and he broke it down and said if you took a carrot from the 1950s, you would have to eat 100 carrots to get the nutritional value of one of the carrots from the 1950s. And then he broke it down to the soil that's being depleted and there's no nutrition in it. The All of the growth, what are they called? Fertilizers destroy the soil. Not to mention all the poisons we put in for pest repellents and everything. That's our problem. And that's why the food source continues to get worse. And the FDA, I agree, is not doing anything. They won't. It's like any other governmental entity. They're understaffed and overworked. So they're not going to catch anything, and they're not going to care. I know this because the field that I work in, we do low income work for energy, and they can't even simply push a button to approve someone who hasn't had heat in like 6 months, and they should have been approved. That's the problem when you get into governmental ways, is there's not enough to oversight, and there's not enough bodies to do it. You go to your local DMV, it's the same problem. I don't think government is the answer. I think it's up to each and every individual, which is the tough part, to get each individual to care that much besides themselves, or, to educate them, or them to take the time to educate themselves. Because good point that MD made is everybody is strapped for time because this world is stuck in this hustle and bustle, no time for nothing. So, I mean, that's kind of the problems that I see. Maybe you fellas can help out with a better idea of how to go about it, because I'm not sure how to go about it.
Man, it is impossible to do anything when you say that people have to do for themselves. The way the world is set up, it's impossible. That's why I say individualism is crazy, because the way the world is set up, it's impossible to be a proper individualist, because they make everything, you got to go, you got to keep going, you got to keep going. There is no time to self-reflect. There is no time to get to a point where you can do the things that will better yourself. There is no time to be a better human being. There's just a time to get the bag. That's all it is. And I would love to say it's an American thing, but it's the whole world. It's the whole world. The whole world has a get the bag mentality. Even poor people, all they're thinking, okay, we got to get enough money so we can get a coyote, then we can get across, we can get to America, and we can get the bag. Like, that's all it is. There's no time. There's nobody. Yo, people don't even know how to plant. Outside of our farmers, don't nobody know how to make a. Yo, if you ask 90% of the people just walking around, hey, how do you grow something? They'll be like, oh, you just go outside, put it in the soil. Like, do you know what time of year you're supposed to do it? Yeah, it doesn't matter, any time of year. But, that plant, it can't, frost, it can't grow in this. Oh, they don't know. They wouldn't, if you gave them a plot of land, they wouldn't know what to do.
I agree. That's where educating the people, comes into play.
They don't
Um,
have time.
but
They
this is
got to
what
get
I'm
the bag.
saying. This is what I'm saying. Well, this is what I'm saying. There are people who do it. So if other people can go about this, like look at this panel, for instance. There's a group of guys that do our due diligence and look into things. So it's not an excuse of not enough time. It's an excuse of how bad they want it. Is more or less. It's laziness. It's not that there's not enough time. Because case in point, like I just said, the gentlemen on this panel take the time and do their due diligence and study and know their stuff, and that's a clear indication that it is possible.
Now, see, I'm gonna go back to you on that. I'm sorry, this will be the last thing I say, Van Cat. I'll shut up after this. My issue with that type of thinking is the reason everybody on this panel is educated in the things that we're talking about is because we have a passion for it. We care about it for one reason or another. Something occurred in our life
That's right.
that made us say, "Okay, this is something I need to take advantage of. This is something I need to make sure I know." If you don't, my best way to explain it, when the internet first came out, right? There was a wonderful app called Napster, right? Napster came out. It was great. And I used to tell people all the time, oh, yo, you can get on Napster. Da, da, da. And I remember one time I sat a girl down and I was like, and I had played her all the music I had. I'm like, look at all this stuff I got, look at all that. And I said, okay, you go download something. What you want? And she was like, I don't know. And I was like, yo, just pick something, download it. She's like, ah. She downloaded like the couple songs she already had, and she couldn't really. That's the American public. The American public doesn't know what they're supposed to be looking for. That's why if you go to anywhere, they have a browse or they have a, hey, excuse me, they have a, hey, look here. You go on Netflix, it says, hey, look at all this crap you could watch. They also have the search button, but nobody uses it. Why? Because people they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what came out. They don't know what's on here. They're just, okay, I'm gonna look whatever you have and I'll just watch something. That's the American mentality. That's the human condition. They don't know it. These people, just like we used to watch those videos where people would go, to hell with Obamacare. And then they'd be like, but what about the AMA? Oh no, the AMA is great. Not the AMA, the AC. Hold up. ACA, yeah, the ACA. They're like, the ACA is great. And he's like, but it's the same thing. What? What do you mean? What? Because that's the American public. The American public doesn't know what it doesn't know. You can't expect them. Like, I don't expect you to know. Like, what kind of music do you listen to, Jeremy?
I don't listen to music.
All right,
I don't
even
listen to
better.
any.
I can't come to you
That's
right
of
now
the
and be like,
devil.
hey, we got to talk about the Drake Kendrick beef right now. What was your favorite line from the Drake diss? I wouldn't come to you. You wouldn't know.
Now I used to listen to music. Don't get me wrong. So I know. I
Right, but you
know
wouldn't
about
know
music.
now because it's not important to you now.
I wouldn't know now. I know I wouldn't know music, the nowadays music. No, I wouldn't. I know a lot
There
of
you
other
go.
music.
There you go. It's not important to
But
you, so you wouldn't know.
music and food is two different things. Music and health is way different.
Well, not really, because if
It
it's not
is.
important to you, it's the same thing. There's a plethora of men out there who know they're supposed to get their prostate checked, and they will never go do it. Ever.
Oh, another one.
That's true. That's true as well too.
Hey, Mike is right, but go ahead, Vancat. I'm sorry.
All right. So we got MD back. MD, did you want to finish your point that you were trying to make before?
No, I didn't know if y'all heard me or not, but in layman's terms, like I said, there is no way that you can rationalize to me that there should be one independent authorizing figure in regards to nutrition. You
I agree.
can't like that. That don't make sense to me. So, in the sense of how I think, right? Not necessarily talking about privatization in this particular industry, no, but there should be other bodies that are competing for governmental funds in regards to facilitating some sort of guideline. When you have only this one independent entity, even from a lobbying aspect, hell, they paid for already because it's only the one group. So at least give me other options to bribe and you know what I'm saying. So in that sense, we have to have other opinions in regards to what the nutritional guidelines supposed to be in the foods that we eat. You got to at least give us that. And that's what I was saying. I'll just leave it at that.
All
Like
right.
Sun Tzu said, when your enemy gives you an olive branch, you take it. Well said, MD.
I mean, but on the same token, again, I'm an individualist. There was a great Indian guru that once said, live your life towards your happiness. Soon you will be dead. Eat what you want to eat. But hey, that's a whole nother subject.
At the expense
Hey,
of what, OMD? Sorry, cut you off,
It,
Vanguard.
it, it, it depends. It depends on what the situation may be.
Because the other thing I wanted to bring up as well is like who's policing who if we do that whole go through the route that you expressed, because that becomes another issue for me. Like a lot of people don't want government involved in a lot of things, but who is policing the FDA if then somebody else comes in and do the private thing? Like I love
Well,
to.
no. No. I didn't say private. That's the
No,
that's the thing.
I
See,
no, I
Mike,
got
Mike,
you.
Mike got y'all antennas up when I said private. I
No,
don't
no.
think. I don't think. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I got what you were saying, and I get what Mike was saying. But I was like, in that context, like, who, if another entity comes in, who is going to police them? Because remember, a lot of people, if you remember well, MD, they don't like government involved in every aspect of the U.S. Mind frame. It's like, oh my God, here comes the government again, telling me how to eat my food. Here comes the government again, telling me how to drive my car. Here comes the government again, telling me how to do so and so. So then, if they come into the police, like comes in to say, all right, we're gonna give the guidelines for foods, and the pyramid is this way, and up here is bread, and up here is dairy, and up here is this, then who's going to police them and be like, well, wait a minute now, not every dairy is good for you and not every bread and wheat is good for you? Who then comes in and steps in and say, at the end of the day, this is where you need to come? Because that's the problem with politics. There's always some manipulation somewhere along the lines. Money becomes the root of evil, because once someone figures out,
Right.
hey, I could like make money off these morons over here that are like consistently talking about the health benefits and so and so. Well, I'm gonna come up with something that's gonna be like this, and then it just shoots off from there. So I get what Mike is saying and now you're saying, but who's gonna be the police is always my concern.
Well. Let me ask you. This question in regards to what you just said. Who's the police at the FDA?
Good question. I don't know.
So there isn't any, because the FDA is not a governmental entity. It's an independent one. The
Or
FDA ain't got nothing to do with the government. The government funds them, just like the government fund the FBI. FBI ain't no government entity. It's independent. So again, that's all. That's all the more reason for it to be more than one.
I did not know that, sir. You hit me with some knowledge.
but yeah, again, MD, they're not. It's not a government entity, but it still has government hands in the pot. Like that's
Yeah,
still, you know
yeah,
what I mean.
they're funded by the government. Yeah, of course.
So
So
of
can
course, the
that be an influential
right,
part
and
of it?
that's what they make
It's true.
the
Yeah.
government.
I mean, I totally agree with that part. But to go on to say like who's policing who is not, wouldn't be the question that I would ask. I would ask who's paying who. You know what I mean? And we know if it's money involved, it's gonna be influence involved somewhere. So why have a direct influence on the one thing that you got to go with versus fighting for influence on many different aspects of what you're trying to do? That's why I said if you're gonna bribe me, don't just have the choice to bribe the one thing. Hell, give options. At the very least, you can do that.
This conversation has made me really, really, really double down on the fact that, and Mr. Mike on the other end, or he is others de la yum yum,
Thank you. Thank you.
that that we are just gonna fall because
There you
it's more and
go.
more corruption. It's
Yes.
just more and more corruption is all we're talking about. If you listen closely, he said, let this bribe be to this guy and not just this guy, but have him have a choice of who to bribe. It's still the same end result.
Yep.
There's no There's nothing that is come out of any of our mouths that is fixing the issue or even is relevantly intelligent at all. It's all the same systematic burn it down fires that's happening. The higher stay higher, the poorer stay poor, and there's no in between. That's kind of what I'm gathering from the conversation. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, but that's what I see.
One down, three to go.
I ain't saying that you're wrong. I mean, hell, that's just the way you play politics. That's the reality of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
One down, three to go. I got to give Van
No,
Camp
I've
credit.
always been on that. I've always been on that, but it was one of those moments where it's like, wow,
he
it
is
really
so right.
doesn't matter.
See?
All
Hey,
right.
I'm looking for a secretary for the Mike is Right group. I already got a vice president.
Yeah.
You can come on through.
Jeremy, go to Walmart, go get your Ozark Trail tent, and meet Mike down in Central Florida.
I thought it was,
by the
no, it's not
Greenland,
Mike, it's Others De La Yum Yum, right?
Thank you. Thank you. So disrespectful.
All right,
You
so
got to
let's
expect
get
that
to
from MDMO. Go ahead, Van Camp.
let's get to the next segment here, and we'll have our thoughts on that on the other end.
I'm an old-fashioned guy. I believe in giving people more for their money. So not only is everything on Wendy's Super Value menu 99 cents each, but on our Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, you get 2 full strips of bacon. At Wendy's, you don't pay more, you just get more.
At Wendy's, you're about to pay more. And that's according to news from Wendy's indicating that they are going to start experimenting with dynamic pricing, similar to how Uber does things where if there's high demand, they're gonna increase their prices. And then when there's low demand, they're gonna lower their prices, but not lower than what you're currently paying. So
that means they're just increasing their prices.
Yeah, so when there's a lot of customers in the store, they're gonna use this new AI technology to increase the pricing to respond to the higher demand for their squared burgers, okay? By the way, did you know that the Baconator is like over $12 at this point?
No, you serious?
Yeah, let me see the exact amount, $12.20 something, $12.24 in New York City to be fair, but still, that's insane.
I'm stunned by that. Okay, so look, I have a soft spot in my heart for Wendy's. Really, I loved it when I was growing up. When I went to go work for my dad, our big treat was if he took us to Wendy's and I got a double.
Now they're doing your dirty, Jake.
Yeah. So when I see those old ads with Dave Thomas in them, please don't tell me it's politics. I don't want to know. Okay, I like Dave Thomas. I like those old folksy ads. I love the Where's the Beef. I love everything about Wendy's. But now they're ruining it. Everything is getting ruined. Everything you liked is getting ruined. Like, guys, surge pricing just means I'm gonna add extra, not only am I increasing the rates, increasing the prices, but I'm gonna add extra stress to your life. Because now you have to figure out when to go to Wendy's.
How about never?
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. Listen, these companies will continue doing things like this as long as you continue to just go along with it. So you're gonna do dynamic pricing, I'm gonna do dynamic go F yourself. Okay, how about that? That's super dynamic, okay? So enjoy Wendy's, because if this is allowed to stand with Wendy's, then every other company is gonna do it.
They're all gonna do it.
They're all gonna do it. So
when you go to eat, when are prices higher? When people go to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that means the prices are just higher.
So again, this practice is similar to what you might have already experienced with Uber and Lyft, which by the way, after Uber and Lyft started doing that, stopped using Uber and Lyft.
Oh good, you have another choice, I don't.
All right, so here we go. We got Wendy's experimenting, as they would say, with a new way to increase prices when the demand is at its highest. I believe Mike wanted to go first on this one.
Who?
Oh God, you gonna make me say it for real. Others De La Yum Yum.
Oh, thank you. I love the accent, the way you say it. It's fantastic. I've been experimenting with a new character called Mature Mike. But as we all know, the true me is an angry, yelling person. I'm going to try to find some balance. Okay. I would like to first and foremost state that I hope Wendy's burns to the ground. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever dynamic food pricing. That is gross. I am so hurt to my core. Food is already insanely priced. There's a place, a horrible place in this country called Taco Bell. They created maybe it might be coming up on a decade ago. They created a taco called the gordita cheesy gordita crunch. Okay, the cheesy gordita crunch. It was $1.50 or something like that when it first came out. I bought one of these things. It was the most delicious thing I'd had in years. I would find reasons to go to Taco Hell just to. I'm like, hey, let me get two of them. Hey, let me get three of them. Let me get another one. Then I stopped eating it for a while, trying to get healthy. And then one day I saw a taco. I was like, yo, let me get a cheesy gordita crunch. It was $2.50. I was like, what? What happened? Did the cheese and it was way worse done. The cheese didn't all come all the way up to the top. The beef was runny. It was wild. And I was like, oh, okay, they're ruining my experience. I'm only gonna eat one more. So I went and got another one because, like I said, I freaking love cheesy gordita crunch. Then I stopped eating it for another 5 years. Came back, it was $4.92 for one taco. One. That's just regular price increasing. Regular. Now they're going to make it dynamic so you know when you're hungry, like when everybody in the world is hungry around dinner time, they're going to jack the price. Yo, that is nuts. They made me. I can tell you this right now, Mr. Van Cat. When it comes to food in America, everybody will be on Team MDMO. Everybody will be an individualist because I guarantee you Wendy's stock is going to plummet. You already have the worst of the big three burgers. You already do. Your burgers, the meats don't even have any flavor. Let's be clear. But
Facts.
you expect it's terrible. It's terrible. You expect me to come in there when I drove by this morning, I saw the burger was $5. Now I come in the afternoon at $7.52. You think I'm a yeah, I can just go to McDonald's and get a big. Yo, you're bugging. You're bugging. You're bugging. And with all the coupons that Burger King has, you think I'm spending dynamic price D's? Excuse me. Sorry, Van Cat.
So I found out about this, I think, a little over 2 months ago. I haven't looked at Wendy's since. And out of the big three, Wendy's actually has the best quality beef. Now, I'm not saying about the best seasoned or tasting,
It's
but
good.
they have the best standard on their meat is Wendy's, way above McDonald's and Burger King. But I can't support them because this is just ridiculous. We're already in inflation, and then to roll something out like this is just ridiculous. So they haven't seen a dime from me, not even for a salad.
Sir, you're living in the wrong country to talk about quality. Nobody that goes to fast food cares about quality, sir. Not
I
a
do.
damn body.
Go to Habit Burger and taste that quality.
And hey, there's a reason. There's a reason they don't have a drive-through because ain't nobody going there. I'm gonna tell you just how pathetic I am when it comes to quality. Do you realize that I didn't find out that chicken nuggets were supposed to be crispy until 2 years ago?
Really, my
I had been eating chicken nuggets my entire life since I was a preteen.
wait, which
And I
chicken
didn't
nuggets?
know they were supposed to be crispy because I've never gotten them fresh because they push them out the window and whatever they are, I dunk them in the sauce and I
Oh
go.
no,
That's how
my
people don't give a damn about quality in America. They trying to get back to work.
The standards got to be raised, man.
Hey, all right, I'm gonna stop talking. Go ahead. I'm sorry. See, whenever I come on, I make stuff adversarial. I'm sorry.
All right, so
we love.
let's go to Ricardo.
Well, somewhere out there, Five Guys is saying beer. So that peanut oil burger is screaming for some justice here. Yeah, I agree with Mike in some aspects, I don't think when you're looking for fast food, you're not. Sorry, others de la yum yum.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Basically, that when you're thinking about fast food, you think about I need something to eat right now. I'm hungry. Just give me my food right now and shut up and take my money. That's pretty much what fast food is. Now, the ingredients that are in, for instance, Wendy's, I don't know if you guys notice this, use a lot of sea salt. And their food is hella salty, especially their fries. Pause. But I when it comes to the taste of food, and it wasn't until others de la yum yum mentioned that that the food doesn't have any quality or taste. It is facts. I can't tell when the last time I tasted a Wendy's burger and go, this tastes absolutely delicious for a beef burger. It has no taste whatsoever.
None.
You would have to literally put the sauce on the food for it to have any kind of like tingly or pause again sensation to your mouth. Pause again. There's a lot of things that you make you go, okay, so who is, again, and this is why I always say, who is policing the foods and whatnot? Because when it comes to food in this country, I know I've eaten food in other countries. It ain't the same. I don't know if you guys have traveled elsewhere. Like, for instance, the KFC in Jamaica doesn't taste
I knew you was going to say that.
It does not taste the same. In fact, any chicken in the
Oh,
Caribbean
of
does not.
course. It actually probably has flavor and seasonings on it.
So why is it American people don't demand quality here? That's my issue. It's like they shove these things down our throats, pause. And we accept it because it's supposed to be, oh my God, the corporations are right. No, they're not. They're just trying to make money. That's the crazy part about this.
All right. So let's go to Jeremy. What's your thoughts on this, Jeremy?
My thoughts are this is actually not the first one that has done it. Have you ever noticed with gas in airfare when you go to what time does it always get super pricey? Oh, when it comes time for the holidays, they jack up the prices. What happens with gas prices when it's summertime and everybody wants to drive around because it's warm and nice out? Bam, they rise up. Case in point is what they're doing now. They're always slowly creeping it up. A month ago it was $3.05. Now it's like $3.55, right? And then wintertime it drops down because not as many people are traveling. They've been tested this out. Now they're just putting it into fast food and giving the real okey doke. And this is the problem. People don't. You literally have to just stop. The only way to stop them is stop buying their stuff.
Hey, Jeremy, what do the American people do?
Oh, they just follow. They just follow and go with it. Well, it could. Well, at least it's this. Whenever I hear, oh well, wow, this is only $2.99. What? If you remember a few years ago, it was $1.50. What do you mean? Oh wow, look at this great deal. It's not a deal. It's anything but a deal. They're a master at manipulating that. They're so good at it to fool the masses. That's what the first thing I immediately think is, wow, this has been around for I don't know how long. And yet when it comes to food, that's when people start paying. This country's a bunch of fat people. When they only realize it when it's food. But they've been doing it with travel for
sneakers.
Who knows how long. Yep, same thing, school time. School time comes, bam, jack it up. Oh yeah, everybody knows they need the freshest gear. Jeans go to like $150 a pair. And you're like, wow, do I buy a pair of jeans or like get my kids some like Walmart $30 ones so they can get made fun of? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what they do. They've been doing it for decades. Even my mother, she used to school time, school shopping. They give you these times and these deals to make you think. Look at what they recently got caught around the Black Friday. They put the fake price, the price of this deal, and that was the price originally. When the woman caught her lifting the tag off, right? It's all scams. It's all manipulation. So I don't even know how we stop it at this point. I mean, you would have to boycott like literally everything. Quite literally, like MD likes to joke around about living in a tent somewhere or something. But I mean, in all reality, that's the only way to stop it. But that still wouldn't even stop it. So we're stuck in this ever so growing. Take the crap that I give you and say I love it. That's where we're at, and it's disgusting. That's what I see. That's what I see with this, and it's been going on for so long.
Come to the light, Jeremy. Come to the light.
Listen, I've been thinking like this before I even met you, brother.
Good. Now you got to say it more so we draw more people, so we can all get our bics together and burn this heifer down.
Listen, I get looked at like the crazy guy all the time, so it's all good.
I'm fine with it.
Hey, I don't care. You can call me anything, just not late for supper.
Hello. There's a reason I'm fat.
I just realized something.
Listen, others. Just tell them I'm fat, you're ugly, and I can diet. That's all you gotta say.
Ooh, I like that.
All right, so let's go to MD. MD, what's your thought on the dynamic pricing?
So yeah, man. The can y'all still hear me? I don't know. I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Loud and clear.
All right.
You crispy.
Yeah, man. With the whole dynamic pricing thing, see, here's the problem. And Jeremy, he brought up the airfare and all of that. I can't rock with what's going on at Wendy's, and here's why. With Uber, you're an independent contractor. So as the peak pricing go up, so does your cut. In airfare, as when it's during peak holiday season, you get bonuses off of that. In this situation, you just flipping burgers and taking orders. You know your wages is not going up as a result of a quote unquote peak pricing. It'll be a different scenario if it was a food shortage or a spike on ingredients. I get it, but in this situation, I can't rock with it because you're just using a situation in order to gain more profit. So basically what you're telling me is come the lunch rush, you're going to bump the prices just based off of that. But you're not bumping the wages of the people that's got to handle it. So I can't rock with that. You know what I mean? If you make them independent contractors, pay them what they owe. Other than that, like, yeah, you gouging. And that's coming from me.
I told y'all.
I gotta agree.
MD was going to join the squad on this one.
That's corporate America.
The Wendy's Parmesan Caesar salad is the best salad in the game. I don't give a damn what y'all talking about.
I know you did not just put your MD. No, it is not.
The best salad in the game. Y'all gonna get off Wendy's.
Bro, Wendy's meat is trash. The only time it has flavor is when it's in the chili, and I don't like chili.
Time out. Are we really actually saying that any of these foods are actually flavorful in a good way? Let's stop and reflect
again,
on that.
like I
None
said,
of them are flavorful.
Parmesan Caesar salad is
Listen,
top tier.
I'd rather take myself up to the bodega that's about a 2-minute drive, get me some Spanish food, freshly made then, a giant plate for a good deal with some fresh juice over any of them all day.
See, that's what makes me different.
But
there's a thing over here called Thrifty, and in Orlando there's a thing called Lechonera. That's what your boy does. It's like a bodega from up north. I go hit it. They got a 40-foot long thing with pause. Ooh, a 40-foot long.
I'll give me some sancocho. Oh,
yes.
Oh yeah.
You can get anything. Yeah. They got 6 different types of rice. They got pulled pork. They got they got Dominican dishes, Jamaican dishes. It is the best thing. That's what I go eat.
They got the
all
chivo.
Parts of my cheeks.
Oof, they got the chivo, the chicharron.
You don't know about no chicharron. Don't play with me.
Oh, I do.
Don't play with me.
My wife is Dominican and Puerto Rican. Oh, I know about the chicharron.
I looked at chicharron my entire life. Like, I am never eating that. That looks gross. One day I said, you know what?
Good.
Let me try it. I got in the car and started driving. I had to stop, turn around, and go get more. I was like, yo, let me get 2 pounds of that. Let me get 2 pounds.
The panin? Oh, panin? Forget it.
This
Bro.
product placement is brought to you by Different Culture. Sorry.
Hey, that's why I always keep me a Spanish person around. I don't care which Spanish you are.
All right, so we're gonna go to the next segment. But speaking of like bodegas and whatnot, so when I think of bodegas, I think of New York, and New York is one of the places that's notorious for food deserts. So let's take a look at this.
It saddens me to know that, this area, which is a vibrant part of the It saddens me to know that, this area, which is a vibrant part of the D.C. community, is considered a food desert.
Ryan Hill lives east of the Anacostia River in southeast Washington, D.C., where she says there isn't easy access to fresh fruits and vegetables.
There are just not as many healthy options.
160,000 people, predominantly black, live in Ward 7 and 8. They only have 3 grocery stores.
I have a small child, so I want to make sure that she has access early on to healthy food.
Hill says she had to travel more than a mile to a full retail grocery store in Georgetown.
I know that the selections are better.
But some help has arrived. A small market called the Fresh Food Factory.
What we offer is pop-up to permanent solutions to address this food issue, this food crisis, this food apartheid.
Amanda Stevenson opened the store a few years ago after receiving a grant from the D.C. government's Food Access Fund.
So many people don't have access to fresh, healthy food in the community. I, like them, had to travel miles across the bridge to other states, Virginia, Maryland, to find the foods that I need.
The store sells fresh produce and health products and allows customers to pay with federal food subsidies like SNAP. According to a 2021 USDA report, 10% of the approximately 65,000 census tracts in the United States are food deserts. That's roughly 13.5 million people with low access to healthy foods. Advocates for food equity say some big chain grocery stores prefer to open in higher income areas.
They just don't believe that they can get the foot traffic, that they can make the income.
If we can have more places in this area that, provide us with those options, I think it will benefit the whole D.C.
The D.C. government has spent more than $58 million to try and attract food retailers toward 7 and 8. Now, officials tell me that 2 big chain grocery stores may open here by this fall. And as for the little guys making a difference, such as Amanda Stevenson, well, she plans to open another grocery store in Ward 7 by next summer. Kelly?
All right, so there we go. Food deserts. This is something certain areas are not affected. It just depends on where you are in proximity to water and how quickly food can get to you. Some areas, it's much more challenging to get supermarkets and other food services around certain areas. So you literally have people living off of a dollar store for their groceries. We'll go to MD on this one. MD, what's your take on food deserts?
Yeah, you made a great point, Van Cat, talking about the locale. Like, because, in Georgia, we ain't never experienced nothing like that. You know what I mean? I can see it happening in a lot of these East Coast cities where, it's hard to get into based off of, geographical area, traffic, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? So I can understand that. I think that's when you got to have a more conservative community effort. You know what I mean? And shout out to that woman that's trying to do it. So I mean, with me not having like much experience on that, it's hard for me to speak on it because we've always had a variety. You know what I mean? Of high, mid to low income areas like to get food. You know what I mean? Hell, from where I'm from, we even had the country people that come into the city with fresh fruit and on the back of a pickup truck. Mm-hmm. So I get it. You know what I mean? It really is based on where you come from at the end of the day. A lot of these inner city places, I can understand it. But, in the country, that really wasn't the case.
All right, thank you, MD. Let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's your take on the food desert situation in America?
I never really thought about it, but this is definitely something alarming. And the first thing, and what MD mentioned about the South, about the fruit trucks just coming into the city, goes to show you that I'm sure MD, correct me if I'm wrong, they have more local, larger farms where they can produce these things. Where if you look at these areas, such as DC, New York City, they have to get their stuff shipped in from far places. Even Massachusetts, where I am, there's not many large farms that can produce to continuously stock everything. And if they do, it's super expensive. So only like a certain selective few can afford to do this, which is kind of scary when you stop to think about it. And I definitely uh, was very happy that that woman is doing that, and I'm glad that she's going to have another one opened up in the other ward, which is awesome and amazing. And I commend her, and I think we need more people like that willing to do that and then working together to make it happen, because the smaller people are going to be the people who help the smaller people at the end of the day. It's not going to be the corporations, because it's often like when you look at building, often so many times, like some of the companies, one of the window companies that we work with, they won't go out for the small odd jobs. They'll only go for, has to be a minimum of 4 windows, or even my company with the insulation, anything below $500 they won't do. So that's a problem. There's too many larger places that are only looking for the giant deals, the giant big bucks versus the smaller people. It's, to me, it sounds like it's more of a financial thing that they just won't do, and it all boils down to, unfortunately, it boils down to the dollar. And we need more smaller people taking advantage of that type of subsidy. That was genius by that woman, absolutely genius. And I hope and pray more people do that to help those people in those areas, because people should get healthy food. People should have those things. That's a basic necessity. That's not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get a new iPhone or something. That's a privilege to have an iPhone. That's like a luxury. Food is a basic need that everybody should have access to. So that's, I got mixed. It's disgusting at the same time. I understand the grand scheme of it and the big picture and the way they approach it. It's wrong, but that's the way they do it. And I think what that woman did is the start to how you begin to help those areas.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Ricardo, what's your view on the food deserts?
Yeah, it's kind of sad thinking about it really, because I didn't even know what a food desert was until just now. I mean, the term is relatively new to me, but it just seems like there's a threshold, or there is a discourse when it comes to it. In how I perceive it is like rich versus poor. Like there's certain communities that are not accessible to certain things when it comes to food and whatnot. So, like in the chat where just brought up the idea, why aren't we coming up with sustainable food living? Like there's certain major metropolitan areas that if we could bring up the idea of like probably growing up, the little small gardens and whatnot on high rises, stuff like that. Like I don't understand, why is it the richest country in the world is so lagging behind, like compared to like other countries that are across the spectrum at this point, are like thinking of progressive growth. It's still baffling to me. Like you think, and this is why I want Americans to try to look outwards. Like we're always into our own self introspective minds. I need us to look like what other countries are doing, because I find it baffling that there's even such a thing called a food desert. Like what, in the richest country in the world? Really? Capitalistic as we think? Like this is beyond crazy. But then again, other young will say, "Hey, what are you talking about, twin? Like this has always been here." But that it's just crazy. Like the mindset that we have here. It's like, how is this possible? I don't understand it. But I just wanted to point out, like, there, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kroger, because Kroger is technically the largest, I think, grocery, um supermarket store company in the United States. I believe so. If I'm not, don't quote me. They had a hard time cracking into the Florida market. Started doing food delivery trucks, and I thought, really, like, now supermarket trucks are delivering food? Come to find out, they can't sustain that kind of market share in Florida, so they're literally packing up shop and moving out because it's not gonna work here. And the reason being is, there's a income gaps between certain communities that can afford it, whereas certain communities can. So Kruger's like, oh hell no, we this is not going to work out long term for us. So we pull it out of the market. Whereas now I was trying to figure out myself, like, it was a unique concept, but now I'm like, wait a minute, if you can't afford, because you, again, MD said, like, the company concept where you have like the Ubers and whatnot. In theory, it sounds good, but if you can't afford it, how does that work? So it's kind of like, I catch 22, because I understand the concept, but why are we not pushing further to allow other communities to be a part of the spectrum? Like, we're the farmers market in the poorer communities. Why are we not pushing the sustainable foods, the healthier foods in the poorer communities? Not poor communities, but the communities that can't really afford it. That's like the main thing that's like sticking to my brain at this point. Like, why are we not doing certain things that are like trying to elevate instead of just like being stuck in one frame of mind? That's kind of like saddening to me to think of, because again, in this capitalistic country that we are in, technically the world's richest, most powerful country, we're still lagging behind in terms of how we could progress with food. And food is like a necessity that we need, other than water, which is like a necessity of life. Why are we not doing much more to help everyone, as opposed to just certain people who can afford? You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm just thinking too much, but that's the main thing I got from that piece. Is like, you have food deserts. Why is that? That's just crazy to me. I don't understand. I can't fathom how that's possible in a major metropolitan area like DC, at that, much less New York. This is something that's always with me. When I was in high school, and we discussed this whole issue with food and outreach in terms of it getting to every community. It's still the same issue that we're talking about to this very day. Why? I don't know, but I digress.
Hey,
All
correct
right.
me if I'm wrong. Publix got y'all on lockdown there in Florida, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn it, MD.
Up, sir.
I was about to say that.
I mean, I was just because I never seen a Kroger in Florida, like, at all.
No, they were trying to break it. They were here before and they didn't make it, and then they're trying again. And this time they got forced out because we love Republics. We're not going to give up Publix in Florida. It's all the
Well,
way.
because they got that chicken tender sub. That's
The
why, man.
sub is everything. But
Hey, Publix, they deli fire. I ain't gonna front. They
Man,
prices
y'all get
high
up
as
out of here.
hell.
Y'all stole about all of my jokes.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Yeah. Them damn subs be off the chain at Publix, but they high.
sure.
Man, them prices be exorbitant.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
And
You
we
ain't
will
gotta
pay
introduce
money
me.
for it.
What?
No, he was saying the price is exorbitant, and I was telling them, we will pay the money for that. That you're getting all that content on your sub.
Oh, facts. MD. That's how Trump almost won Florida again. When he let them use food stamps on public subs, they went crazy. But I digress.
All right.
I'm not
All right.
joking. I'm dead serious.
All right, yum yums. Go ahead.
Th- Sir, we don't know each other well enough for you to be making me nicknames.
No, he didn't. And you but and going, what in the hell is yum yum?
Calling me yum yums. We gonna have people thinking you taking my cookies. Better stop.
Oh man, delicious looking for you. Delicious.
Hey, delicious will get these hands. Delicious to get these hands. I don't play that. All right. So first and foremost, I was gonna say that K. Roger, aka Kroger, K. Roger can never ever come to Florida because Florida's public city. It's a wrap. Florida, the whole state is a public city,
They
Fact,
literally
and
sell wraps.
you feel me?
fact.
Facts. And I was gonna say the reason that nobody over here minus Jeremy, has heard of food deserts is because we all are blessed by either K. Roger in Georgia or Publix in the South,
What about
where
when and Aldi?
yeah, that's what I'm
I know
saying. But
all these.
we got other spaces. But as long as you live in Florida, you know you're not too far from a Publix. You know it don't matter where you live. You can live in the hoodiest of hoods. There's a Publix up the block.
It's so
And if you go the other direction, there's a Publix over there
it's not
too.
Publix. It's so true. Across the street is Publix.
You feel me? It don't matter where you live. I've been to downtown Orlando, downtown where there's just buildings, like straight build. There's no like residential areas. And if you look in a building, it looks like a business building. You drive in, you park downstairs in under the street, and you take the elevator up to Publix. I had never seen it in my life, but Publix is gonna find a way. So if you live in the South, you don't even know what a food desert is. That don't even make sense to you. But and the other thing I was gonna say, gentlemen, no, not gentlemen, twin. You were saying we live in the richest country? No, we live in the country that has the richest at the top. They get their money and then they
Right.
hoard it. They don't share. That's why
Good
whenever you
point.
see a disaster occur,
Yep.
you don't see rich people out there trying to help unless it's their own thing. Wink, wink, The Rock and Oprah Winfrey.
Wow.
You
Why you
you
think?
feel me? That was a jab. You don't see the rich out there helping. You see them taking up a collection from the middle class and the poor. Because the
Yep.
rich don't give their money for nothing. The
Nope.
rich takes their money, they hoard it, they put it in stocks, or they put it in overseas in accounts that can't be rated. That's what the rich do. We're not
Ask
the
the
richest
Waltons.
country. Huh?
Ask the Waltons, the heirs to the Walmart.
Just
Fact.
stick it out of my mouth, Van Cat. We were thinking the same exact thing the same time. That's crazy.
Shoot, ask the Cokes, but we ain't gonna get into them. That's what they do. They don't care about us that's what I'm telling you, this country is dead. It's dead and dying. I'm surprised they haven't got a colony on the moon already that they gonna leave and take their money with them. It's a wrap. They don't care about you. And that's why I said in the first thing we talked about that they need to subsidize good food. That would be the beginning. Yo, I guarantee nobody that is on this pod can tell me they've seen a commercial for lettuce.
You
Yep.
got that right. That ain't happening.
I bet if I go ba da 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 da, everybody knows what comes
I'm
next.
loving it.
You feel me? That's the problem. And don't get me wrong, MD, because I know MD's over there. I understand that's a private entity. I get that. But what I'm saying is, if the government can subsidize the living hell out of milk and corn,
Sugar.
well, that's what I said, corn. Out of
Sugar
milk
and
and
corn.
corn is sugar. That's a whole other conversation.
Oh,
That's
it's a substitute.
Yeah, if you can, they don't even use real sugar anymore. If
Yeah.
you can subsidize the hell out of the foolishness that's killing us, you can take a step to the right and give some the lettuce, give some the onions, and then have some commercials to make the
Avocados.
kids think salads are cool. You hear how MD talks about that public salad? Kids should be talking about, yo, the day I found out that you could put anything on a salad was the day my life changed. Y'all think I'm joking. Yo, when my
Hey,
mom
go ahead, go ahead, go
when my
ahead.
mom said, "Hey, try this," and she cut up gherkins on a salad, and she
not
put red grapes
working.
on my salad, and she put craisins on my salad. I was like, "What? I
Cranberries.
thought salads was just lettuce and carrots." They were
Nope,
like, "No, you
sir.
can put whatever you want."
Nope.
I was like, "What? Stop playing with your
Yeah,
boy."
I don't like sweet salad. I don't, that ain't
That's
me.
fine.
I don't
That's
Oh
like.
yeah,
fine.
that's gross.
Good.
I agree with you, MD.
First of all,
Mm-mm.
bump both of y'all. I ain't asked you to
Yeah,
eat my
yeah, but
salad. That's one.
no
Number
sweet
two,
salad.
that's my salad. You guys can have whatever you want. When I was a kid, I ate beets on my salad just because I liked the color. I thought it was cool to have a red salad.
Well,
But
beets are
but the
healthy.
point is, you can make salad any way you want. If we start pushing
Yes, sir.
salad as the side instead of rice, you know how many pounds will go down as a
Oh yeah.
country?
Hell yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I know I'm making points when everybody want to jump in. Y'all go ahead and get it. I did my damage already. Go ahead, hop on.
No, I real quick. So again, that's also see we tend to think that it's the government that's pushing this stuff. It's not the government. It's these independent. We remember the stuff that got milk. That wasn't the government.
Yep.
That was
That was
the
who?
Pause.
Department of Agriculture.
Isn't that the
What was the
government?
other one?
You broke it. You broke
No,
it.
it's not.
Department of Agriculture is not the government.
No,
What are they?
Yeah, what are they, MD?
It's got to be a
they're
branch
independent.
of it.
It's
gotta be a
not.
branch
It's not.
of it.
The way that a lot of things that the MAGA maniacs talk about now, they talk about something called the administrative state, quote unquote. What they mean by the administrative state is these bureaucrats, independent entities that are getting money for the government and then pushing an agenda. I don't, but what they say. The reason that they say that is because they're using government funds to push a quote unquote non-governmental. So they get the money from the government, 100% fact, but they are not tied to the government, not in the sense that we know wings of government. So when they say the administrative state, that's what they mean. All U.S.
They don't get it. They don't get it from the government. They get it from the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve is the one who gives the money to the government.
However you want to put it, is what it is. But what I'm saying is that these entities are not going off of what the government say. The government uses them to push the guidelines, whether that's
MD,
right or wrong. That's for debate.
MD, I'd like to ask you a question. So
Go ahead.
these entities are not the government. Are
No,
they do they have like damn it, like rules or guidelines they have to follow from the government, or they do what they want?
no, they do what they want. Like,
So explain this to me. If they do what they want, what's the difference between them and another private entity?
well, the difference is where the money is coming from.
Oh,
They're not private in the sense that they do what they want in as far as spending goes, because they don't. That's the government that gives them the money, but the government the authority to set the standard. It's not the government.
So the problem is it's less restrictions. That's the problem. The problem is they're left to run amok. They need to be tightened up.
Less restricted in the sense that they're the only people that doing it. Not restricted. It should be other people that should also be less restricted in order to give people a choice.
Now, I know that sounds wonderful to you, but all I hear is now there's 15 different ways to screw over the consumer. I would rather take the one.
It is what it is.
I'd rather take the one and make them do right. That's why I'll always say, instead of privatizing, make it less corrupt. It'll never be totally not corrupt, but make it less corrupt.
But
So
Mike,
yeah, I just wanted to make that point. Like you remember what was that pork, the other white meat, and all that? That was USDA pushing that.
Yeah,
but
that was a good name. I chose that name. The other is white meat. That was fine.
Oh my!
Jeremy said, "Oh my." No, but absolute power corrupts absolutely though. So that's why we keep asking MD, because if they're not a part of, if it's not the government is still doing its interjection somewhere. So are they still?
Yeah, I gotta look that up because he's blowing my mind today. Pause.
Because the whole thing.
Yeah, look it up right now.
I just never understood.
Don't order me, sir.
Yes, sir. Of why it's not the government, but then that's the upper hand in delegating what the entities are doing. So isn't it still classified as part of the government?
No, because they don't have no upper hand in what they're doing. They're just giving the money. That's it, literally. That's what they're doing is funding the administration. That's
Yeah, to push their own agenda. So therefore, it's your here, eat what I feed you, smile and die with a smile on your face.
So
well, see, that's the thing. You equating the government pushing the agenda. No, it's not the government.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're giving it to the government to do that. The private people, the corporations, are the ones funding it all so the government makes those laws to benefit them. I guess I'm kind of agreeing with
That
you on
part I
that
agree
one.
with. That part I agree with. It's if you only have the one entity, the corporations are just buying the entity. That's it.
But how does that talk to the health industry though? So you have the food and you have health. So are they both hand in hand doing the same thing? That's crazy to me.
They both hand in hand on being bought. So I agree with what y'all saying.
That's crazy though.
Wow. Yeah, it's basically nothing's going to change because the system is completely broken and it will never be fixed because nothing inside of the system is incentivized to be good to the people. It's just not. It's more of cutthroat. Get what you got to get out, and who cares about the rest?
Keep
So
going.
no
Take it to
matter
the end.
whichever way you flip it, whichever entity you decide to bring in, it's going to be the same corrupt game because you cannot continue to do the same thing. It's insanity. The definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing and expecting a different result. We continuously run around this on the hamster wheel, and it's a never-ending cycle of the poor. The middle class is eroded to basically nothing. It will be gone soon enough, so you'll just be either it'll be out in the open that you'll be rich or poor. In all reality, that's the case. You're either the rich or you're the poor, and then the poor is fighting the poor because they're fighting for the kickdowns as they used to do in the old times from the king's table to get the crumbs while they're just laughing and everybody's like, "Ooh, I love this guy. I love this guy." So it's just reaffirming everything that I've been thinking about and also I guess verbalizing since on this show. So I just want to say thank you guys for reaffirming exactly what I've been thinking the whole time because MD, you've had some great insight on how it works and operates, and it just reaffirms of what I've been exactly thinking.
All right. So we want to go to the final food subject. And on this, as Jeremy was talking about, the middle class pretty much getting a bat handed to their head. Let's take a look at this, and we'll be back on the other end for thoughts.
Now to the higher minimum wage going into effect tomorrow for some fast food workers in California and what it could mean for franchise owners and customers.
This morning, some fast food workers in California will soon be making at least $20 an hour, the highest minimum wage within the restaurant industry, set to begin Monday.
This is a start to improve the wages and also improve the working conditions in the industry.
This is a $4 increase from the current minimum wage in the Golden State, meaning some workers will make 25% more on their paychecks. Advocates say it's about time given the extremely high cost of living and inflation.
More and more folks are unable to raise bigger families or at least, put themselves in a position to retire effectively.
The new law impacts more than 500,000 workers in California and only affects fast food chains with at least 60 locations nationwide. Some small business owners worry they won't be able to compete with the wage increase.
That's going to impact us by an increase of $470,000 annually across those 10 stores. It means that we have to raise prices, which we don't want to do.
2 Pizza Hut franchises in California reportedly laid off 1,200 in-house delivery drivers in preparation for the new minimum wage hike. Carrie Harper Howie owns 21 McDonald's and says she does not anticipate closing any locations.
The bottom line is everyone is not going to be able to afford even the measured and carefully thought out price changes that we are going to be implementing as a necessary part of us responding to the increase.
Starbucks saying in a statement they plan to offset the minimum wage increase by changing their pricing as well as other efficiencies in their stores.
The United States has a patchwork of minimum wage laws. Labor Department data shows 20 states pay the federal minimum wage of $7.25, but workers earn between $8 and $13 in 14 other states. The highest minimum wage levels range from $13 to $17. Those rates prevail in the District of Columbia and 16 states. including California, where fast food workers will now earn $20 an hour, $4 above the state's minimum.
Anisha Williams, a homeless mother of 6, just got a big pay boost from her job at Jack in the Box.
The day is finally here.
After years of battling business owners, workers at California fast food restaurants with 60 or more locations will now be paid at least $20 an hour. That amounts to a 25% jump from the state's minimum wage overnight. What does this raise mean for you and your family?
Hope.
But it's not good news for everyone.
Real world impacts are already being seen. Businesses are potentially looking at reducing hours, laying off employees.
Are your employees worried that their hours might get cut?
They're already seeing it happen, unfortunately.
Alex Johnson is a franchise owner of 5 Cinnabons and 5 Auntie Anne's pretzel shops in the Bay Area.
We've already raised prices anywhere from 10 to 15% over those last 3 years, but we're looking to do the same again now with this wage increase.
He says a pretzel that cost $3.99 in 2019 will soon cost $7. Even at Jack in the Box, where Anisha Williams works, menu prices could soon rise up to 8%. A small price to pay, she says, for a life-changing wage increase. Do you think this raise could help you finally find a place to live?
I'm really crossing my fingers, my toes, and whatever else. But yes, I believe that it can help. It's a start.
Some restaurant owners tell me the higher wages are causing them to look into automating more aspects of the business, like ordering from a kiosk and even robots that can flip burgers. John?
Carter Evans, thank you. For more on what wage changes mean for the industry and Californians, we're joined by economy and labor journalist Margot Roosevelt. Margot, it's good to see you. Not all states have the same cost of living, so help us put the minimum wage in context for us in life in California.
In California, the price of housing has gone absolutely through the roof. It's 39% higher than the rest of the country. And so no wonder you have so many homeless in California. 181,000 people are homeless in California, and many of them are living in their cars, and whole families are living in their cars, and it's just a tragic situation. So wages are not high enough to support people.
Right now, joining us with an on-the-ground take on the new fast food minimum wage in California is Scott Roderick, a McDonald's franchisee in California. He owns and operates 18 restaurants in the northern part of the state. And Scott, why don't you just tell us what it's meant from your perspective?
Well, good morning, Becky. Thank you for having me. The day is now dawned upon us where countless operators in California face this $20 wage. It impacts 15,000 restaurants up and down the state of California. It's going to be the most serious challenge for entrepreneurs that do business on the franchising platform. The vast majority of these restaurants run by small business proprietors who do business on the franchising platform, and the vast majority being family owned and operated, just like my restaurants. You know, I want to underscore the words family owned, because franchisees are not large global corporations. The restaurant brands that we franchise might be national in name, but franchisees are local business operators. It's an important fact that somehow seems to get lost in the legislation that was crafted. And as you stated earlier regarding, it is absolutely the intent and consequences. And for many, what makes this legislation unprecedented, let alone extraordinary, is that it only benefits employees who work in franchise restaurants. Whether you own one single donut shop or 10 donut shops in California, if you're part of a franchise brand with 60 or more locations, the new wage mandate is going to apply to you. And as you just stated, this is an extraordinary wage jump, 25% overnight. It's a serious concern for two reasons. First, it targets only fast food restaurants. And second, the sheer scale of the impact is just breathtaking.
Tonight, skyrocketing rents, forcing a growing number of Americans to think twice about where home is.
Definitely feeling priced out of Boston in general.
It was 3.5 thousand, which is now 6.8.
From coast to coast, rents are rising at the fastest pace in decades. A real estate research firm reporting a record 11.3% increase nationwide. The biggest spikes hitting the South, where many moved post-pandemic, enticed by remote work and warmer weather. Florida, home to the top 3 cities where rents have risen the most. Naples on the Gulf Coast, averaging a 39% spike during the pandemic. In Texas, the fight to find affordable options getting tougher too. Dallas rent spiking 21% over the last year, according to Realtor.com.
Okay. All right. So there we go with that video piece illustrating California's $20 an hour increase. And as far as we know, we all should know really, that California is one of the most expensive states to live in, with an enormous amount of unemployed and homeless people, working homeless people, which is ridiculous. Only in America. Working homeless people, and we cannot afford the rent. So we have in that piece the classic fear mongering about the threats to automation, the threats to losing jobs, and blah, blah, blah. And we have a CEO on there crying about the astronomical costs overnight. Meanwhile, first of all, they have the money to pay it, and they just need to pay what they got to pay. So I want to go to MD first on this one. Get MD's take on it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Again, I don't have. I think we talked about this before.
Go ahead.
And as we talking about the politics of food, I'm warming my water right now for some cup noodles, Maruchan, and that's what it is. $1 is what I pay.
That's one of the worst things you can eat, MD. That has a high level of sodium. Oh man!
I'm finna put some more sodium in it with some Cajun 2-step and some garlic powder. I hook my noodles up. I'm finna hook them up, Van Cat. Hook them up.
MD, let me know what hospital you're in so I can come visit you.
All right, Bill Watts.
I'm finna hook them up. But in any event, I think we talked about this before. I don't have any issue with what's being done on the basis that as legislation was getting put in place, knew all the factors and they crunched all the numbers. I don't see how in a state like California could be any type of issue in regards to like cost. Can you hear me?
You kind of blacked out a little bit.
No, I was saying I don't see in a state like California, I don't see how this should be any type of issue in regards to cost.
Right.
Like I said, all the numbers were put into place when they was drafting the legislation and putting it on the state house floor. In a totality aspect, when we talk about minimum wage, and it's crazy to me that Georgia is still at 720. That's crazy.
And Florida as well.
Like I don't even see how. Like, bro,
they're red states. That's why.
That has something to do with it. But also, it's bad when you account for. I state as an example, when you account for all the rural areas that's in Georgia and you try to make that what the state is, when as far as per capita is really not. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody, well, hell, it's hard to even find places that you would consider truly rural, hell, anywhere in the country now. Because they gentrifying and commercializing so much space where that's raising prices in the most unlikely of places. Like where I live at now, when I was growing up, it was nothing there. And hell, now it's comparable to Atlanta or any other city. So when you take that into account, and then you try to justify not paying a reasonable wage, you know, it's troubling. It's troubling in the sense that if we're gonna use the example of the last guy who owned 18 McDonald's, I think they said.
Yep.
Then you're gonna try to put yourself in a position like you some mom and pop, like you making the bread. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I think you'll be okay.
So one thing that that nobody ever says. Okay, so they talk about $20 an hour being they're gonna lose jobs if they do that. Now really think about it for a second. So let's take a McDonald's for instance. How many I'm sorry, how many $20 transactions do they have in an hour's time? You just gotta wonder about that. And I remember working as a manager for a company, and I remember one day of sales could pay for me, the cashier, or two, and another part-time associate. And that was almost half the staff, in one day. So in a 30-day period, you could pay the rent, the water bill, you could pay most of the staff year salary in a matter of days and years. So that means the other 11 months, 365 days, they got profit, 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 profit. But then they go on TV and politic about woe is me, this cost creating initiative to pay somebody $20 an hour, which by the way, I'm in Florida. Back in 2017, I saw a graph that said in Florida, for you to be able to live by yourself without the help of a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a family member, just you, 2-bedroom apartment, you would need to make, back in 2017, you would need to make about $23 an hour. That was in 2017, before the pandemic, before the inflation. So, there's like reality and then there's what they're doing. And that's a problem because you're shaking at $20 an hour when the reality is you have the ability to pay probably $40 an hour and still be profitable. And that $20 is not going to allow those people to be able to pay the rent, pay water, pay light. God forbid if they have a car they have to pay on, which the prices of cars are ridiculous right now. Food, clothing, and other miscellaneous. They're just trying to just get a house, just throw their body in a house. But I said my piece. I'm gonna go to Ricardo now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, Ricardo.
Okay. So yeah, it's man, this is a double-edged sword. So again, I concur with MD's sentiments. I don't understand what California is complaining when it is by the wealthiest state in the entire continental U.S. There's more of funds going in and out of California based on the Silicon Valley, based on the oil production, based on tourism from Hollywood. I just don't understand how, all that. But then again, it doesn't surprise me. One thing the piece failed to mention, it's no longer California that's the most expensive place to live in the U.S. It's now South Florida. And that has occurred since the pandemic, when I remember my company was making claim of, so and so, and we all crunch the numbers, and it turns out that living in South Florida is actually 10 times more expensive, or if not equate to the same equivalence of living in LA. And we were like trying to figure or wrap our heads around why is that. The reason being is because everyone flocked here during the pandemic when it became apparent that it's cheaper for housing and all of that. So all you New Yorkers, when we complain about y'all coming down here in Florida and doing the most, is what we're complaining about, because now the cost of rent, the cost of living, everything went astronomically high overnight. Even now, I hear people today complain at my job, it's getting expensive to live in Florida. Why? Because everyone flocked down here. Now, it's not surprising that, people want to retire here. It's a retirement state, but it also doesn't help that it's a red state, like I just brought up. No offense to anyone that's, Republican and whatnot, because again, I'm independent, I'm neutral, I'm in the middle, so you don't need me to get votes. But it's one of those things where it's a double-edged sword, where I don't understand why the minimum wage has not risen in Florida for decades. No one complained, and if it does raise, it goes up by like $1. Why is it that we're not pushing it further upwards? But then I know why, because there are people like my governor, the wonderful DeSantis, that does all this, amazing things that he thinks he's doing, and he's not doing diddly squat. But I digress. We're not doing the most here. Yeah, that face, that one face, that same governor that took pictures in a warehouse when he could easily walk on a white sand beach to take photo ops. That makes no sense to me. You have more beaches here than any other state, and you choose to do a photo op in a warehouse to do that's a whole other story. But yeah, it's very, very difficult to live in the state of Florida. Everything went up overnight. The cost of living and all of that is here. Automation has always been in Florida. I don't know why this piece all of a sudden make it look like, oh, automation is like it's gonna come. It's been here. Like if you go to a Bank of America here, you're only seen one teller assist you. Everything else is pretty much you doing your own bidding on a computer or at the ATM machine. You don't even have drive-throughs for Bank of America in Florida anymore. If they do have them, it's very rare, and I think they eliminated them right at the precipice of the pandemic or thereafter. You will not see, and I'm not kidding you. There's no more bank tellers for drive-throughs in the Bank of America bank or branch anywhere in Florida. I don't think in the US anymore. The only place you'll find them is like maybe a Chase, and if you're lucky, maybe one or two other places, But that's what automation has done. And then if you haven't seen automation in the food industry, I literally went to the UK in 2019, I believe. I think it was just before the pandemic. And when I tell you I ordered my meal at a McDonald's on a computer screen, and that thing came out a span of 2 seconds after I ordered the meal, and I saw no one in front of me except for one person doing they weren't even at the registry. They were just there just to make sure that everything is in an orderly fashion. That's automation. It's pretty much just been here. It's pretty much just like taken mainstream. It's the reason why you don't see people in the malls anymore, because we do shopping at Amazon. We don't go to the malls to do foot traffic except for like just to walk around and look like we're doing something important. This is where it's led to. Now, whose fault is that? I will never know. Maybe technology has caught up. Maybe we want things too easy. Maybe we don't want to do certain things anymore. But it's here. But how are we going to blame your regular Joe Schmo who goes to do their job, who tries to be of some importance to society? You're then going to say, oh, but woe is me. Oh, well, we're a capitalistic country. Is either you live it or shut up and put up with it. It's crazy. The conglomerates, the corporate major heads, all of them, like Venkat says, they could pay the money. This is the reason why you don't see Walmart opening overnight or staying overnight open throughout the whole duration of the nights anymore, is because that was one of the things that Walmart had to give up during the pandemic as well. People are smart enough to know their self-worth when it comes to work. If I don't choose to work for bare bones and minimum, I ain't going to do that anymore. You can't blame consumers. You can't blame people who have gone through the most before or prior to the pandemic, now realizing their self-worth, that you don't have to do, the working for scraps. That's not our fault. Conglomerates and major heads that run these corporations. This is your fault. You had years to prepare for that, but now you're going to push the fear mongering, like Venkat says, because it fits your agenda somehow. Again, I digress, because we're a capitalistic country and I like free market. But still, when you do all of that, you now question and beg the question, who is going to fill up these gaps? And just like I had to question my governor, when you do this whole push of, oh, these immigrants are coming into the state of Florida, and they were the ones that were doing most of the construction work, and you run them out of the state, who's going to fill up those gaps? Oh, let me guess, those people that complain that, oh, the immigrants are coming here and they don't want to do the work? I digress.
All right, thank you, Ricardo. Let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's your thoughts on the $20 minimum wage, and everything else there.
All right, I agree with a lot of what Ricardo said, and I'm just going to kind of say one thing real fast. Well, this will start it off, but I'll have other things to say after. But the simple fact that they raised it $4 an hour equates to $80 a week, because you know they ain't getting no overtime. They're working 36 hours a week, no schedules, so they're getting an extra $80 a week on top of the astronomical prices in that state. So you've thus just slapped them in the face and said, we don't care about you, stay in poverty. This is why women go to prostitution and strippers. This is another reason why. This is another reason why young men go to drug dealing, because they can make an actual living off of it. Granted, I don't agree with it, but I understand their logic, and this is why they do it, and this is why it increases, and this is why violence increases. This is why overdoses increases. This is why suffering increases, because greedy, filthy people at the top can never have enough, and they continue to play these word salads and these false, making it look like they're doing something for the people when in reality they're not, and they never have. They just continuously kick you while you're down. I look at just in my state alone, and my state is not a very expensive state. You cannot, and it's nowhere near. I live in Rhode Island. It's nowhere near as expensive as California, and you cannot live in Rhode Island for less than $35 an hour. You cannot. You cannot sustain a family. It has to be at least $40 to $45 an hour for a family of just maybe a husband and wife and a kid. That's in Rhode Island, and Rhode Island is nowhere near California. So when you're paying $20 an hour to one of the most expensive states in the whole country, you are not doing anything. It's like there's a gentleman named Gerald Celente says, he often says, you are workers in Slavelandia. That's what the United States is. It's legalized slavery. They get you for dirt cheap. You can't even live in a house, so there goes that. You're working essentially to sleep in the streets. You can't feed your children. You can't provide anything. You have to make a decision. Do I starve, or do I have my kitty and then I go to work starving, or I can't afford to buy my son or my daughter any clothes. And these people think that they're doing a favor to us. They're not doing us any favors. It's like George Carlin said, it's one big club and you ain't in it. You're not in it. We're not a part of it. No matter how much we continuously fight over politicians and lobbyists and this and that, we're not in it. We're not a part of it. We never will be. So the key is community, small communities where people can help one another. That's what's lost in this country. Before, neighbors used to even talk to each other. You don't even talk to anybody anymore. Nobody even said, if you say hi to somebody, they look at you like you're a crazy person. That you are so isolated. We're so hyper focused on ourselves and keeping up with the Joneses that we've lost touch with reality and humanity at itself, and being a good neighbor and being a good person one for another. It's disgusting, and it increases the more these people continuously take over. People are not going to be able to survive. You're going to see more skid rows. I've seen them in my city, and my city isn't even that big. And I've seen tents where people homeless living in tents. Can't find work, nothing. Literally living in tents. It's gotten out of control, and you're either poor or you're rich. There's no in between. There's just no in between. You can't. It's almost.
Jeremy?
Hey. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you went away for a second. Jeremy?
Hello?
Yeah. You can hear me?
Hello?
Anybody else on the panel?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. Jeremy fell.
Yeah, he just fell off.
Oh,
All right, let's get others that like yum yum.
I don't like you smiling when you say my name. Don't smile and say my name. You gotta have a mean mug. You gotta say it with a mean mug. Others de la yum yum.
I don't know if I can swallow that, sir.
You will not swallow anything from me, sir. You just keep saying these pause-worthy things. All right. I'm not gonna go long because I think Jeremy and Ricardo killed it. I think MD, as always, is gonna do his thing. All I'm gonna say is this. That man who said the rent is too damn high was correct. You should have listened to him. Y'all kept making fun of him because of his beard. Yes, y'all should have listened to him. That man was trying to tell y'all. Y'all weren't listening. He was telling you should have got him for president. We could have knocked this rent down. It would have solved all these problems. Secondly, I will say I laugh wholeheartedly every single time these corporations come on there and we're gonna have to use robots. It's funny. It's funny, right? Because you pop a robot out a week afterward, you think we're dumb? We don't know that it takes a whole lot of years of R&D to be able to get a robot that can flip its own burger and not have to. Come on, man. Come on, I'm not dumb. You were always planning this. You were always planning this. And you can't tell me, Jeremy just said this, in California, it's $80 a person, $80 a week per employee. You can't tell me that's not a lunch rush. That's a lunch rush. You wanted to fire these people and they gave you a reason. That's what it is. You cannot tell me this billion-dollar corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation can't pay 20. You pay more than that in ads. You pay more for that in jingles.
In research and development.
You feel me? I don't want to hear. You pay more for that just to find out what month you should drop the McRib. I don't want to hear it. Give them the money, do 3 less commercials a year and you can afford to pay them 20 an hour. Miss me with that. These big companies kill me and we're just franchisees. I only own 10. Yo. Rick Ross owns like 60 Wingstops. He ain't crying. He ain't crying. You make money hand over fist. Stop acting like you're dying. You're not destitute.
It's so true.
Okay? You're not destitute. You're making money. The problem is this country allowed business and private entities, wink wink to MDMO, to pay below production for so many decades.
And then the pandemic came in and they were now like,
and
oh
the
my God.
pandemic knocked all the dust off the books and showed the world, hey, look how good we've been screwing you guys over because now the pandemic's here, you can't work, but we still making money.
Hey, Mike, I got a question. Hey,
Yes, sir.
Instead of Rick Ross making diss track by Drake, I need to ask him why it take 2 hours to make me a lemon pepper chicken sandwich.
You know what?
At Wingstop.
First of all, I'm not mad at you. That's a fact. Even though his diss record was pretty good, I ain't mad at you. Even though I didn't like the racist overtones, like he wasn't a white boy when he was making you money. So calm down, Ricky.
He's half white. Yeah, I don't know.
Like y'all ain't know he was half Jewish. Come on, stop it. The man wore a yarmulke in a video. Come on, miss me. But to this day I have not had. I think I might have had it once, but I've not had lemon pepper wet. I just don't. I think I'm the only black person that just don't do lemon pepper. It don't seem attractive.
Oh man, hey, that's it. And you can't come get lemon pepper wet, man.
Bro, just from watching ATL, I was like, man, I gotta get some of that lemon pepper wet.
Wait a minute, these guys are sidebarring like a month. On the screen, we got Just Twinning. The CEO makes $20 million a year alone. How about we just lower his salary?
You better talk that stuff, Just Twinning.
Drake says his daddy dark skin.
Hey, I seen his daddy. His daddy blacker than the mug. Trust me.
Yeah, he is. His daddy is. I
His daddy black as hell, and I ain't talking about skin color.
But yeah, But you know, that's a good point. And but you didn't answer his question though, Twin. Answer MD's question. Why is it takes so long to make his lemon whatever
The
wings?
same reason it takes 2 hours to get a bucket of chicken in KFC in Jamaica. The demand.
Facts.
And I'm not being facetious.
We're
It's a
not.
2-hour line to get KFC chicken in Jamaica. I'm not joking.
And
I'm not.
yep. I'm gonna bring
And
some
it's worth it.
That's probably because it's not dry
Yeah,
like
y'all.
up here.
Yeah. Y'all ought to be ashamed, man. Y'all ain't herbs and spices.
Sir, they took all the herbs and spices that was supposed to be in KFC up here and they shipped it to Jamaica. Because y'all don't get, bro, the KFC in Jamaica is so good that when people go down there, they buy a bucket, put it
and
in
bring it
plastic
back.
bags and bring it back.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I got to bring some for MD so he knows. I'm gonna bring you to
He
Jamaica.
don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Hell, every time I go to KFC, they ain't got no more chicken.
Yeah, because it's in America. All the chicken in Jamaica.
We're gonna bring you to Jamaica, MD.
Because that's where it's gonna do. The chicken in Jamaica don't even fight. They just go, I'm gonna be that, kill me.
All right, so we
I was
got
gonna be
two.
that garbage in America. I'm gonna be that stuff in Jamaica. Ooh, let me lay down. Get the neck right here. Man,
We got two things to cover, including what's next, the lame duck session. So let's go into session for that one right now.
First things first, in this lame duck session.
For the United Nations General Assembly to share the extraordinary progress we've made. In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough.
I started having second thoughts almost the moment I sat down on the plane.
Lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn
We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
So I changed my return flight and flew back on the first available flight I could take.
I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
I'm tired of being quiet.
I'm sick and tired. I'm just sick and tired. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
With great power comes great responsibility.
These lights are so bright in my eyes that I can't see too many people out there. But I can only see the black ones. I can't see any white ones. You see? That's how far I've come. That's how far I've come. That's a long way, isn't it? These lights. You want to see a bird graveyard? You just go. Take a look. A bird graveyard? Go under a windmill someday. You'll see more birds than you've ever seen ever in your life.
Former President Donald Trump spent the day today in Metro Atlanta as part of a fundraising stop. He also spoke out about his campaign returning to the White House and the Georgia election interference case against him.
Former President Donald Trump arrived to cheers and chants from the crowd at Hartsfield-Jackson. After signing memorabilia and posing for pictures, the former president came to Atlanta for a luncheon fundraiser with local business leaders and supporters, including former U.S. Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. He also made a stop at a Vine City Chick-fil-A.
We're going to get rid of Biden.
And also some chicken. I'm going to take care of the customers. Is business good? Making a lot of money? Everyone get rich, right? Thanks very much. Anyway, you hope you like each other, right? I think that's very nice. Have a good time. Nice to see you.
Thank you very much. So we'll order 30 milkshakes. We'll give them out to the people, and we'll take some for ourselves, okay? Good. Thank you very much, everybody. Hello. This has been a great American franchise, Chick-fil-A. It is. It's a great franchise. The owner is a great man who's a member of one of my clubs, and he's fantastic. And yeah, they do very well. They're closed on Sunday. The Lord's Chicken. That's the Lord's Chicken. You're right. It's good chicken, too. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
Former President Trump on the campaign trail getting a big hug from one supporter during a stop at a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta. So that woman is the founder of a conservative grassroots political group. She was on Fox and Friends earlier today.
People, of course, were from all four institutions within the AUC, the local HBCU community in Atlanta, and they all showed up in support of them. So it's actually kind of crazy to see people in an uproar when all four institutions were legitimately represented.
All right. Well, one key issue shaping 2024 is the fact that Biden knows he's in trouble with minority voters. Biden still can't get the same reaction that Trump does. Take this viral moment from Trump's visit to an Atlanta Chick-fil-A this week.
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please
Joining me now is the woman from that interaction, Michaela Montgomery. Michaela, why did you want your photo taken with Donald Trump that day?
Well, above all else, he was our president, the leader of the free world.
Sure.
So I don't know who, as a person who respects high offices, wouldn't take the opportunity to take a picture with the president. So, of course, I'm going to want my picture, but I supported Donald Trump last election, and I definitely feel like I'll probably be supporting him again this election. So with that being said, yes, I want my picture with the president.
Trump, because you want to appeal to the blacks, you've already done sneakers. Now let's do chicken. Let's play it.
We've also knocked doors for you in the past for your past re-election bid and when you ran the first time. Yeah. Wow. I was interning for the GAGOP at that time. So, yeah. Wow. Doing a lot for your tax credit reform bill and everything like that.
Well, we took care of those colleges.
Sure did. Much better than Biden did. So I want to say this is Clark Atlanta. This is Spelman. This is Morehouse. This is Morris Brown. They all came.
Isn't that great?
So I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
Please do.
Bless her, Candace Hart. Spelman and Morehouse Democrats put out a statement saying our goal is to simply reiterate our unequivocal beliefs about our beloved HBCUs. We do not support white supremacists. We do not support convicted predators. We do not support voter suppression. We do not support liars. We do not support fascism. Do not speak for us. I'm going to just tell you, as somebody who worked on campaigns, Secret Service has to go through that room. They're not just going to let anyone in there unless they're pre-screened. That lady said she was an intern for the Republican Party of Georgia. She used to work for Candace Owens' little firm, her little thing, Blexit. Right. She's a plant. So we know that. And everyone in that room was pre-screened to be in that room. This was not him walking into a chicken shack and people being like, Trump!
So, anytime Donald Trump does anything with black people, we should just automatically assume it's fake. And then the sister, she's talking about the Atlanta University, talking about, oh, we support you, we support you. Folks on social media like, girl, who the hell is we? Who the hell is we? Like, who you speaking about? We support Trump. Well, the folks at Midas Touch, they've been tweeting about this, and they were like, yeah, that was all a lie. Was actually with a MAGA operative. It turns out Michaela Montgomery is a political consultant who worked for the Georgia GOP for years and is a city director for Candace Owens' Blexit organization. That sort of blows up that BS nonsense.
I mean, and I really hope I'm not, being too mean about this, but I have yet to see a group, a singular person or a group of black people around Trump that looks presentable. Presentable, I mean, the crusty wig, the ingrown hairs on the beard, the wrinkled shirts, the disheveledness. And it's like you scrape the bottom of the barrel of what we represent. And I'm not saying that we're a monolith or anything like that, but it just goes to show you how far and deep inside our trenches you have to go in order to find black people or any race, really, to stand next to Trump in confidence as though it is a good thing to do. as though you should be proud of doing it. That is like my biggest takeaway from seeing this footage and seeing this content. It's like, this is not a representation of Black people. This is not what we are about. And the pandering that these Black people have been doing, the groveling that I see them doing in order to be accepted by this very racist, very bigoted, very ignorant white man. It's just astounding to me how far some of us are willing to go in order to feel accepted.
This is expected. Remember, 2015, when he came down that escalator at Trump Tower, we found out that those people there cheering for him, many of them were paid to be there. Okay. Then he came to Metro Detroit, but recently he was here in Metro Detroit and visited an auto plant. And we found out that, number one, it was a non-union auto plant, number one. Number two, many of those people who were said to be Trump supporters, they were paid to be there as well. So this is what you get, all right? We have to expose this fraud. And I saw that video
today. Look at tell us about it is that young woman herself, Michaela Montgomery. She's also the founder of a grassroots political group to conserve the culture. Michaela, I've been waiting for this interview all morning. So
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
And I've been waiting to say both of y'all out y'all damn minds. So my whole deal is every time he comes around Black people and starts lying, somebody needs to be there saying, every time, you keep saying you've done more for HBCUs than anybody else. How much? Can you give me the number? Can you tell me what did you do? Opportunity zones. Can you tell me exactly how much of that money went to low-income residents, people of color? Please let me know that. They can't tell you. That's what you see, because what they love to present to their mostly white Fox News audience, hey, here are the Blacks. Look at the Blacks who are supporting Trump. And I'm going to say this here again for the low information voters out there, the people who don't pay any attention. All of y'all who thought these checks were overflowing to the Black community when Trump was there, just want to remind y'all that was COVID. Just want to remind y'all of that. So if y'all actually think that Trump is just going to be flowing checks to the Black neighborhood if he actually wins, y'all all need to be drug tested, because it ain't happening. And all of you are going to be in for a massive rude awakening when there comes more tax cuts for the rich and he leaves your broke asses out to dry, like he's done Giuliani, like he's done everybody else who stood with him. But y'all go ahead and play a little game and actually think Trump has your black back.
All right. There it is. There she is. Put the spotlight on Michaela Montgomery, number 34, trash bag human of the week. And we're going to go to Ricardo. Ricardo, what do you think about a piece of the trash, garbage ass, lame duck this week?
Where do I even begin with this? Now, MD, if you remember last week when we were discussing this on your show, both of us immediately knew this was planted. Like, there's no way this didn't just seem so opportunistic that you were like, wait, this just screams, this is so innocent. It was just so forced. Like, tell my mom. What got me was the line of, tell my mama I made it. Who says that? Like, really? It was just like so like I there's so much that you could just unravel from the way the whole interaction went to the. So let's just start off with the fact that you did all of this in a chicken joint. Really, you couldn't get any more. The optics of that couldn't be any more. What you call it now, forced. I mean, really, I know you're trying, and I'm going to keep saying this. I'm going to say this again. Stop the pandering to the Black community. We know what pandering looks like. It's like the Democrats showing up one day before the elections, talking in a shook and jive in church and whoa, hallelujah. And please stop it. It is very insulting to our community and to our intelligence. I don't understand why it is that he keeps doing the same exact playbook. I don't know who's in charge of his campaign, but please it out. I do not like it. It's not something the rest of the community like. We understand and we know what it looks like, and it's very to me, especially when I see particularly black women do this. It's very embarrassing. I just don't understand why Michaela felt the need today. And she literally told, like she said it off rip. I am a part of so and so. I'm with the Republican so and so. It was like, really? Did you not do like research and think like in this age of internet we would have found out who she was anyways? Like, really, Trump campaign? It was just forced. It was just too much. And Michaela, you were just as friggin' embarrassing to begin with. Like, really, girl, this is what you're doing? How much did they pay you to do all of this? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out at this point. Did you have to go out on a limb to like do the most to embarrass yourself, and not only yourself, but the community at that? You could have done better, girl. Like, I don't know how much money the campaign paid you, but it was a bit forced. And that's why I knew it was planted, because the minute she shouted that one tagline, tell my mama I made it, I don't care what they say about you, Mr. Trump, I was like, yep, planted. It was like, it was strategic. It was just too perfectly. They could have put a little bit of like, inconsistent brushes here and there. It was way too forced. But I had my hat to y'all. Y'all really trying hard to get the black vote. You did the sneaker campaign thing, and he said, oh, black people gonna like me because they love sneakers. Really? That's why black people will like you, Mr. Trump? Now you're
Hey,
doing.
Ricardo.
Yep.
Sorry to interrupt you. I gotta just say one thing. So I guess the next thing after the sneakers was got to be Black and Miles, right? That's got to be the next
and then,
next product.
and then he followed up with, oh, I'm gonna go to a chicken joint. I'm surprised it wasn't Waffle House, because Lord, it would have been like, really, the optics of all of this cannot scream that you're doing the most to try to get the black vote. It's not gonna work. Nice try though, Mr. Trump, in your campaign, but you need to do a lot more if you really want to get the black vote. What you should be trying to do is to appeal to the independent voters, and I cannot stress it enough. People like myself, people like Vancat, people like MD, people like Sir others, Della Yum Yum, and
Thank you, sir.
and Jeremy. These are like, we made this clear from the beginning of the inception of this show. We do not like either one of you party, the Democrats or Republican. We stand for, you need to cater to our appeal of, we're in the middle. Either you trying to get our votes by saying you're going to give us such and such and such. Like, I would rather they go on the campaign and say, hey, the taxes are way too damn high, or the inflation is way too damn high, or gas prices way too damn high, instead of you going, oh, but I love black people because wait, they could buy my shoes gold. Look, it's pretty and it's gold. That don't cut it for me. Like, I need you to talk about how you're gonna help Florida decrease the or increase the minimum wage, or decrease the inflation that we're having, or the housing market, or the rent is too high, or all that. Fight for like, tell me stuff that appeals to me, instead of you doing the outmost that makes no sense. This is not gonna cut it. Come on, man. Y'all could do better. And for Michaela, I don't know who told you, girl, that you could speak on the black community's behalf. Please sit down and have several seats somewhere. Like, no, that ain't it, girl. You could do better. Especially the fact that you did it in ATL of all places. In what do we call it again? Twin black. If it was to break away from the US, it would be black country.
Blackopia.
Blacktopia. But why, girl? Why of all places? Why did you add? And you not only just named all the HBCUs that you think was affiliated with that area. Why, girl? Why? But you know what? I'm not gonna waste my breath on you. You are truly the link duck human trash bag of the week for a reason. So let's just keep it moving. Next.
All right, so let's go to Yum Yums. Yum Yum Yum
Sir,
Yum.
are we gonna have to fight? Like, I don't understand what this yum yums. My name is others. Did this brother just extra yum yum my name? Sir, you'll respect my name, sir. It's my mama name. No, I just got a message. I heard that the next thing is he's gonna dig up Billy D. Williams and put Colt 45, since he was the 45th president. They're gonna have Colt 45s on
Hey,
sale. The
that
new,
actually makes sense.
yeah, your boy good. You know I got bars. You know what I'm saying? And then I heard he was gonna do a new the new Friday.
Oh,
He's gonna be in that, and he's gonna do. He gonna hire Mike Epps. So every time he does a speech,
Friday after election day.
you feel me? Every time he has a speech, he gonna come out and go do 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 45, 47, because he's gonna be the 45th president, and then the 47th when he wins. So he's gonna be 45, 47.
Damn,
Do
man.
do 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 do. Y'all don't remember that? Y'all lame. That was the funniest thing Michael Epps ever did. The white around your lip. But anyway, I'm disgusted by Trump. I'm disgusted by this chick. I'm disgusted by everything. I don't even know why that, bro. And I'm just, you know what hurts me the most? That this heifer is my namesake. Like, why she can't be named something else? Why you gotta be Michaela? That's my daughter's name. Yo, pick something else. Be Beckisha. Be Jamisha. Don't
Same
be.
spelling, Mike? The same spelling?
Oh, nah. See, I'm not arrogant, so I didn't give her my name with an A. I'm not
Got
arrogant like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Oh Lord, there's an H at the end. Jesus.
Yes, it is. Michaela.
Oh, this chick, I bet she came from a black man who had some dreads and it was nappy and I don't even want to get into it. There was a hobo in her family. Michaela with an H at the end? That's what we doing? Wow. Her name looks like Michael
It puts
and
emphasis
Hallelujah
on the
got joined
ah.
together.
Right, the emphasis on the Michaela.
You feel me?
La 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 la
Wow.
la la la.
I am disgusted by this pseudo human. It's sad because it seems as if he can go no lower, and
Fact.
then boom, it'll show up. We're gonna have the 45th anniversary Newports. They coming out soon in the red box.
Lord.
You know what I'm saying? And the top is gonna have a little thing where it grabs it, and it's gonna say just grab him in the filter, and he's just gonna be grabbing the Newport. It's gonna be he's disgusting, bro. It's
Yes, no bounds, just like terrible. Just like Lord.
I'm disgusted.
All right, thank you. I'm not gonna say it. Thank you. Let's go to MD. MD, what do you think about lame duck?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I would like to nominate Venkat for the net lame duck for playing Roland Martin. Let me get that out the way.
What's
Let
wrong
me
with
get that out the way now.
What's wrong with him?
Hey, if you don't know, I don't know. That again, you could have did a better job at compiling the information. You didn't have to use Roland Martin. That was terrible. but in any event, again, me and Ricardo broke this down last week.
Yes, we did.
Terrible. Just terrible. In real time, yeah. First of all, let's talk about the organization that she was a part of. Blexit.
Get him, MD.
Right off the bat, it ain't a good look, folks. Yeah, Candace Owens started it, but with the funding of Turning Point, which is Charlie Kirk's organization. Need I say more? The same person that said he ain't getting on no plane if it's a black pilot. That's basically what he said.
Wow.
Lest we forget.
So, there's that. Second of all, she said she was 4 PF, four pockets full. If anybody know what that is, that's Lil Baby's organization. Now I ain't hip to what's going on, you know what I'm saying?
Which
but at least I know that.
The rapper Lil Baby?
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
So so she had to say something, dare I say niggardly, to make it look organic. You know what I'm saying?
God.
She didn't have to say that. She didn't have to say none of that.
It's not.
Now I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt. She started off talking about when Trump signed the Future Act for the HBCU.
Facts.
I tried to get a benefit of the doubt, even though all that was a continuation of what was already going on under Obama. But that's debatable. At least you're putting up a good fight.
Right. She almost had me too.
Yeah. So you started off great, and then you had to go to the Vine City shouting. Is what you did. which is fine. I ain't telling you you don't supposed to be who you are, but at least bring up some more policies like you did initiating the conversation. But you didn't do that because you were there for a photo op. I mean, it was quite clear what it was. I would be sitting here in defense of you if you would have went policy for policy in regards to black folks and Trump. I would have said, look, I ain't gonna let y'all talk about this young lady. I would have got up on Texas politics and defended her with my life. But she didn't do it.
No, she didn't.
Because she was paid an endowment to bring her and her HBCU AU lackeys down to the Chick-fil-A. And I know exactly where that Chick-fil-A at. Right on the corner of Lowry and where MLK start by Aspen train station. I know exactly where they was at.
Yo, I wonder if she's the third black woman Trump has ever said, "Give me a hug."
Right.
And he paid for all of them.
I mean, it's quite possible, man. It's quite possible. But you failed. Go ahead.
But that could be a curse too, because remember one of those women that he hugged that last time died, didn't they? The two.
You talking about Diamond and Silk?
Yeah.
So she received a hug of death, is what you say?
Yes, sir. Michaela's on her way out.
Lord. Damn, that's messed up.
I don't care.
But yeah, just to conclude, again, it's sad that this is how the MAGA maniacs want to portray us from a political standpoint. Because they didn't have enough decency. They didn't have the decency to at least give, even if it was a photo op, at least give her the opportunity to discuss matters in which she wants to face in terms of the black community and policy for Trump. She didn't even give her that decency. And it's sad. And for people to turn around and then show this and try to display it as some type of championing, as a representation of black conservatives, is appalling.
Facts.
It's appalling.
Complete facts.
One person I knew made a video saying thank you, Michaela Montgomery and Chick-fil-A. Speaking of Chick-fil-A,
wow.
Trump also said he talked about the founder of Chick-fil-A and he was once part of my club or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The founder of Chick-fil-A, we learned this in Georgia. You learn about this in school. The founder of Chick-fil-A is named Truett Cathy. That's his name. Profound racist.
Yep.
It wasn't even like a question. How racist he was.
Lord.
So like, what are we doing? I love the sandwiches. They great.
Popeye's better.
Man, I might have to resign from TFP. You say something like that.
Popeye's it's light years ahead of them. It's thicker,
you have lost all credibility,
it's flavorful.
All credibility, Van Cat. All credibility.
No, MD.
Not even close.
I'll go buy my own buttermilk and make my own damn sandwich.
MD.
Not even close.
Let's not forget the lines that we saw line up for those Popeyes chickens. No. Let's not.
They fine. It is what it is. The Popeye chicken sandwich was revolutionary. They were revolutionary. But nothing can beat the tried and true deliciousness of the Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's just what it is.
Nah, man.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. Culinary MD might be my favorite MD.
Yeah, I'll break it down. Hey, it is what it is. But in any event, he was racist as hell. Everybody knows that. And for you to bring that up,
remember, MD just told us he eating some ramen noodles, and that's high life society right there.
And they were delicious.
Oh, come on, MD.
I had some chives. I put on.
Oh gosh.
You said
Culinary MD is my favorite. Yep. I'm about to put him on the list. Yo, that's gonna be my top 10 this week. That's gonna be my top 10 this week.
You gotta see that top 10 from Mike.
Yes, sir.
Oh
yes,
man.
Sir.
It's great stuff as usual.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
And Cersei was very well deserving because Lord, her toxicity was real.
How black people don't know who Cersei is? Y'all getting on my nerves.
Cersei Lannister is just the Lord. There's
Yeah.
a plethora of things that woman. But I think what really was my favorite, sorry to do the
Oh boy.
sidebar, was that
Sidebar again.
when she had to
Oh
do
boy.
the walk of shame all naked, and they were like shame, 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 and they were spitting and doing the most. I knew she was gonna do the utmost evil. I'm gonna turn around and do so. I'm gonna get all of y'all back, and that's when I said
Oh, facts.
oh yeah,
Everybody got to die. Everybody.
everybody got
Yes.
burned to the ground, and I saw it coming from a mile. So I was like, yeah, she's deserving of the #1 title. And whosoever don't know who she is, go watch Game of Thrones. There's a reason why she is the most toxic woman on television of all time.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you even better. Go read the books because
Oh,
the books are way better.
the books are absolutely way better.
All right.
Even though he didn't finish them, which is why I hate George R. Martin with a passion.
All right. So let's go to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's your take here on this lame duck number 34?
Just let your orange glow. Looking oh so punk and smooth. Just let it shine.
He went back to the 80s on
What? No. What Mike Epps should say when he gets up there is for Donald Trump is "You'll never find blum 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 a hairline like mine."
See, Mark Jeremy, y'all suck.
No,
Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody want to be a nigga. How about that question?
It's political. It's political propaganda. Just like they always go into the so-called "quote unquote" black areas, poor areas. Election time comes, they show up. They're your best friends. Then once you elect them, they just go and stab you in the back and just take more of your money and say, "Well, that's kind of how it goes." So nothing new. She's another pawn in the game. She's just as filthy as that man that she was hugging. Those two are brother and sister, as far as I'm concerned. And that's really all I have to say. Just, the orange man is the orange man, and he's pandering to the black community, and Biden will be right behind him with his maybe a different angle, but he'll do the same thing. Birds of a feather flock together, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. I'm just really not surprised. It's become theater. Elections since Trump has really become theater, and everyone is adopting it. The propaganda, and the scary part is that people believe it. We got some dumb people in this world. I'm going to say it again: idiocracy. Here we come. Here we come.
Hey, speaking of election, real quick. Hey, I want to announce. So in November, I'm doing a 24-hour stream. I'm doing
24 hours.
I'm doing
My
MD.
goodness.
I'm doing MD's election night extravaganza. I want everybody to be there.
Not extravaganza.
If Donald Trump does not win this election, I'm telling you, the lashing out that I'm gonna do on the MAGA Maniacs is gonna be like nothing you ever seen before.
Let me find out MD is doing a telethon for Donald Trump now. I'm playing, MD. I'm playing. I know you wouldn't do that. I'm playing. I know you wouldn't.
I'm not going to sleep until I see the results. I'm not going to sleep.
Are you gonna
Don't worry.
They'll
They'll come back with
be up
more
for a
votes
few
like
days,
6
bro.
hours later. Don't worry. They'll come with more votes from dead people. Have any of y'all seen the movie? I think it's Black Sheep, where the woman starts they're running for his what's his face? Chris Farley's brother's running for the governor.
Yeah. Chris Farley and what's the other guy's name?
They literally did that in the last election. I'm sure they did it in other ones, but this is the one that really stuck out because it's more blatant. But they definitely did that same thing. I'm sure they've done it in others, but this one sticks out more than maybe because I pay attention more. But I'm sure it's happened in many other elections before that. But they definitely did that. And that's all I got.
All right, so let's get ready to finish up the show. We're going to show the last video. Has to do with the Iran-Israel issue. I just got to hear what the panel thinks about this odd moment right now. So we're gonna do it as the nightcap video, and then after that we're gonna do our final sign-offs. So let's just take a look at that video and we'll be right back.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Weijia Jiang in Washington. A major new escalation in the Middle East. Tonight, Iran launched an unprecedented attack on Israel. It involves dozens of drones launched from Iranian territory. A first. This is in retaliation for Israel's bombing of Iran's consulate in Syria earlier this month, which killed a number of senior leaders of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Earlier today, Israel shut down all school activities in anticipation of an attack. The United States has been helping Israel tonight, shooting down some drones. There is significant concern that this could widen the ongoing Israel-Gaza war to more of the Middle East. President Biden returned to the White House earlier from Delaware. CBS News foreign correspondent Imtiaz Tayeb is in Tel Aviv. Imtiaz, tell us what you are seeing and what you are hearing on the ground.
Weijia, an extremely worrying night here in Israel, where in the last hour alone, we've heard the sound of sirens and loud booms, including in areas right across the country, which has just rattled so many people after dozens of drones and potentially missiles entered Israeli airspace. In fact, I believe we have some footage of that. Again, you can hear the sound of sirens blaring, and you can see some of those interceptions. Now, we understand the U.S., Israel, and the Jordanian military intercepted much of that, and so too has Israel's incredibly sophisticated missile defense systems. We also understand that Israel's war cabinet is meeting in Tel Aviv here at this very hour, and we're also hearing reports that there is at least one casualty. Again, reports that there is at least one casualty. The concern is that could change in the coming hours following this unprecedented attack from Iran on Israel inside Israeli territory, something Iran has never done, but warned it would, as you so rightly said, following last week's strike on its embassy in Damascus, destroying that building and killing that senior commando. Now, very quickly, the U.S. Embassy here in Jerusalem has told all U.S. government employees to shelter in place until further notice, and according to a security alert, that as these drones and missiles continue to be launched at Israel, that there's a lot of concern here for the safety of people. And again, finally, we've heard from Iran's foreign ministry, which said that they were responsible for tonight's attack.
All right, that's some reporting of the initial reporting of when this jumped off. So, Ricardo, we'll start with you. What is your take on the development here?
It colored me not surprised. I knew this was coming from a mile ahead, and I've been saying this from January, I believe, where I said at some point in time we're gonna see more likely Iran with the coordination of maybe an assistant insider, aka Kof, Russia, doing some kind of retaliatory feedback to Israel in regards to what we see taking place with the Palestinians. So I'm not the least bit surprised. What I am surprised about is the amount of ballistic missiles that they literally submitted to Israel's side. I don't think even the intelligence of our country was really surprised by how many missiles they submitted over to Israel. I question now what would be Netanyahu's response, because now in terms of calculation move wise, whatever he does now going forward will now either make or break what's gonna come. And I don't think even Joe Biden and the rest of the administration is saying, hey, listen, we're not saying you can't retaliate,
But do understand, we want no parts of this. And if you're going to do what you're going to do, make sure you understand that there's more to the situation and there's other players in this field. In other words, the enemy of my enemy is my best friend. This is the game of brinksmanship here. So I now implore Netanyahu, whatever you do understand the Iranians are not going to back down from this. They're going to just keep coming with more. And this is where the powder keg issue comes into play. What's going to be the result of when someone makes the miscalculated move and something else happens? I don't want to know. I don't want to see it. I just want to see this whole thing wrap up and end. But this is going to take a while, and I just hope for the best. And I'm going to do the pageantry response. I wish for world peace. I digress.
All right, thanks, Ricardo. MD, what you got on the Israel-Iran situation?
Yeah, so I'll say this. This is going to be a turning point for Biden and his administration in terms of how they're going to deal with the situation, right? Um, I've seen reports today that says that pretty much it looks like Israel's attack or Israel's counter offensive on Iran is pretty much imminent. It's really nothing that they can do to stop it.
Nope.
Um, uh, Biden also put sanctions on Iran today. That happened. You know, I ain't putting much into that because that's not the most prominent thing at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Um, to me, it's going to be about how Biden is going to respond to anything that Israel does to Iran. That the attack that happened this weekend, that was nothing compared to what Iran could do.
Facts.
They have capabilities that overtake the Iron Dome, point blank. Period. If
Facts.
they wanted to do it, they could have did it, but they didn't do it. That Iran went out of their way after the barrage of missiles and drones to say, okay, now the conclusion is done. You know what I'm saying? We've now concluded what we wanted to do. What y'all want to do? You know what I'm saying? If Biden was smart, he would do everything in his power to stop Netanyahu from like not retaliate. So again, that's why I say it's a turning point for how Biden is going to facilitate this whole thing. If he was smart, he would use this as an opportunity to push harder for a ceasefire. And I think from a diplomatic standpoint, it'll do him good. But the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking because if Israel retaliates, it's gonna be a back and forth. And you know, you've already said, look, you're not gonna help Israel in any type of counteroffensive. So that's basically, hey, look, y'all do what y'all do.
Y'all on your own.
Is that what you really want to do? If it really start to go down, like really start to go down, we know that's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
You're really not gonna have much of a choice because Israel is going to be overwhelmed by anything that Iran put up in the air. They're going to be overwhelmed. So use this as an opportunity. Use it as an opportunity to try to stop this. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to save face politically in the whole situation. But we'll see. I'm predicting that Israel going to do something this weekend. That's what I'm predicting. And I just leave it at that.
All right, we'll see if that comes through. Hey, others de la Yum Yum.
Thank you.
What
Bro,
is your point of view here?
I'ma say this. Israel's gonna mess around and get all these countries with people that claim Arab descent to link up. because the only thing stopping them is America. And I'm not acting like America's the big bad buddy, but everybody know they got that little. Everybody's had that little friend who talk too much trash, but they got a big cousin, so don't nobody mess with them. But if America just be like, man, you got to handle that on your own, they will wipe Israel off the map. And I don't understand. Like I get what he's trying to do. I get that he's trying to, we're Israel. We're not taking it from anyone. But it's like you're literally sitting in the middle of a nest of vipers, acting like you have venom like protection. Like I don't understand it. But I'm out of it, bro. Like I have no dog in the fight, and I'm gonna keep it moving. I don't want none of them to get mad at me. It's always been relatives having a fight, and I'm gonna stay out of family business. Simple and plain.
All right. Thank you for that one. And finally, we have Jeremy. Jeremy, what do you think about the Iran Israel situation?
Well, first off, I think others got the De La from De La Soul, but I'm just gonna say that as a
Ooh, what you know about that, Jeremy?
listen, man. I wasn't always trust me, trust and believe. Listen,
He said
man.
before the Lord there was hip hop.
There was a lot of it. Not. I'm talking about the battle rap, all that.
Oh, you don't want to start? I'm a battle rap dude, but go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Anyways, but so this is not surprising, and they are definitely retaliation's coming, and the onslaught. I feel sorry for the people who fall victim to this because they're politicians and their rulers continuously war. Let's be real. Let's be real. This has been going on for thousands of years. These wars over there. It's not going to change. First it was Palestine. That Israel and Palestine have been feuding for thousands of years. Iran's been in the mix. Iraq. It's an old but bloody warfare between them, and the United States will more than likely use this opportunity to jump in because that's what they do. They've proven it throughout history. They jump in every single war. They went over to Vietnam, Korea, World War One, Two. Korea was a war. It wasn't a conflict. Even into Central and South America, they wherever they have ties, they bloody the killing fields, and they do it willingly, and that's what's going to happen. And the sad part are there's going to be thousands of men across the globe who are going to go in and kill each other for someone who or some people who care nothing about them, and that they are family members are going to suffer, and those who come home maimed are going to be traumatized. Those who the destruction in those countries is going to be catastrophic, and those people over there are going to just be utterly destroyed, and it's going to be horrific. I hope and pray it doesn't, but in all reality, I can see the situation for what it is. It's escalated over the years. The tension has continued. Russia will join in. Who knows? Maybe China and North Korea. It might escalate into something greater than what we anticipate because I'm sure there's other players in the game that are part of it. And that's the scary part. And it will come to this country eventually. It will come. They'll say enough of us allowing the United States to come destroy our area. They'll come to try to destroy ours. They've already tried blowing up certain buildings, doing certain things. You know, they'll try. Japan did it in the 40s or 30, what was it? 41, 1941. It will come here, and it's going to get worse. So be ready for it, and I really hope and pray that people will be saved and it won't come to this. But the reality is, I Definitely believe it will.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. So now we're at the point where we're going to do our final sign-offs. So right off the bat, let's start with Ricardo. Ricardo, final sign-off.
Yes, sir. Great show. I learned a lot from Sir Jeremy. I did not know you had that vast knowledge of music, sir. So you really surprised me. Um, but loved your intake. Panelists, you guys were awesome. Others, Della Yum Yum, aka Twin, MD, Van Cat Extraordinaire, Jeremy, and we enjoy. Discussing politics, and I love the insight that we share in terms of how we come on here every week and we just rock it out, and it's not even like biasness. It's just like we take each other's banter. We might not agree, we agree to disagree sometimes, but at the end of the day we cohesively all have our take, our own positions, and we just go with the flow. You can learn a thing or two, MAGA crowd. You guys are really like just stuck in your own ways. Like there's more to politics than arguing about the same Messiah that you know for the love of God won't win it come November. But I digress. Great show, awesome presentation, Venkat, as per usual. This just again, I cannot implore you all, do your research, do your homework. Do not get caught up in the propaganda. Always know what is real from what isn't, and just know what a plant is, because that's going to be a huge major word board. I'm surprised Webster hasn't added it into their definition yet. But a plant is going to be here, there, and everywhere, coming and leading all the way up to the election. And I look forward to the next shows that are coming up. And great show.
All right. Thanks, Ricardo. MD, do your final sign-off, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great show as always, man. Pertinent topic tonight, talking about the politics of food. It's important to have an understanding about certain aspects when it comes to that, because again, in regards to our health, from an individual standpoint, it's vital to try to maintain it. I could tout all day, say, hey, do what you want, like eat what you want. It all sounds good, but everybody's situation is different. It's up to you to understand your well-being, not only for yourself but to your family. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Check me out, man. MD's Thought Box Live. This coming up Thursday. I was gonna do myth and morality, but I talked to Apex, and I think that's something that we're gonna try to break down on the God and Government show. Not this coming up Monday, but next Monday. So this Thursday, I'm gonna talk about something kind of different. It's gonna be kind of weird, but I think it's important to the environment that we're in right now, talking about the Faustian man and Caesarism and all of that. If anybody don't know what Caesarism is, it's a philosophy in which people think that civilizations are like seasons. Like you have a spring, a summer, a fall, and a winter. Some people might argue, as it stands right now, we might be in the winter of our civilization. I think that's a topic that you would like, Jeremy. Meaning that it's a Caesar type figure that's galvanizing the people, but ultimately which leads to the demise of the civilization. So I'm gonna be breaking all that down on Thursday, along with news topics. It's a lot of stuff we didn't cover tonight, i.e., the Trump trial that just started. I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking. He already about to get hit with a contempt of court already, and they ain't even started the trial. They just in jury selection, and he already finna get hit with contempt.
Damn.
Like how you do that, I don't know, but they saying he violated the gag order. That's what the prosecution's saying, at least. I'll be talking about that. Also, the next stage of the civil war between the MAGA maniacs when it comes to MAGA Mike Johnson and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'll be discussing all that. So check me out this coming up Thursday, MD's Thought Box Live. And in the immortal words of an elder that I once respected, we gone.
That was deep. That was deep.
All right. Now we're gonna go to others de la Yum Yum.
Thank you. Thank you. As always, I am the auxiliary on this show. I try my best to acquiesce to the great minds that have collected here. If you sat through this whole thing, hopefully you learned something. If not, hopefully I at least made you laugh because I damn sure do it to Vancat as much as I can. Take
Yep.
serious this political spectrum that we're in, where people are branching off in their own directions and unity seems so far fetched. This is how Rome fell. We are moving just in line with them. It's already over. Get an umbrella and find a thought that's really bad at math. That's the best advice I could give you.
Shout out to the thoughts.
Yes, sir. That's all I got. Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
All right. All right, and now we have Jeremy Dunbar. Your final sign off, sir.
All right, I'm glad I was able to catch you off guard, Ricardo. I'm going to catch you off guard again. My first ever cassette that I owned was Naughty by Nature, just so you know. Yep. So I go back, the Locks, Rough Riders.
Yeah.
I go back, obviously Biggie, Eazy-E, Dre.
Respect.
Even I used to listen to in the battle rap. I used to listen to Loaded Lux, Murder Mook, Charlie Clips.
I still do.
So I was not always the way I am today. Just let you know that I'm not perfect either, and I've come a long way in my walk. So I never look down upon nobody because who am I? But on another note, it's always a pleasure conversating with you, gentlemen. I even learned things such as the curveball that MD threw all of us with the government thing. I think he caught us all off guard, which is great. Keep them coming, MD. Ricardo, you know what? All kidding aside, we think a lot alike in many ways. We're not, our thoughts are not as far off from one another as we may think. We're very similar. We come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different parts of the country, yet we are yearning and striving for the same thing. So that can be encouragement for anyone who does hear, who follows that nonsense of the MAGA maniacs and the other fools on the other side trying to divide. There's no need for division. We can all come together to help one another and collectively do better for ourselves, our families, and each other. So stay encouraged in that. And I look forward to seeing you guys again. God bless you all, and peace.
I need that blessing. Thank you.
Facts, Jeremy. Facts.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody here tonight for being on the show. Of course, Ricardo, MD, others de la Yum Yum.
Thank you.
Jeremy Dunbar.
Hey, stop calling that man, man. I ain't damn saying no damn Yum
That is
Yum.
my name, sir.
Daylight, Yum Yum.
That wasn't bad. I like that one. That was good.
So we'll see everyone next week. I'm going to end the show because today is April 16th, the birthday of my late brother, Vish, aka Silent Assassin. I'm going to end the show with one of his songs, and then I'll have the final outro that we usually have. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, check out MD. Definitely check out Mr. Others, Mike. He had a top 10 this past Monday on Man Talk Monday. It's amazing as usual. Check it out. We'll be back next week. MD will be on Thursday, and Ricardo will be there. If I don't pass out, I'll swing by. I don't know, depending on how I feel when I get out of work. So thank everyone again. Can't say enough good things here. We'll see everyone next week. And until then, peace.
Peace.
The land of the free, home of the brave. Why do I feel like a slave? In my own country. You tell me. Ring the freedom bell. Yeah. Silent assassin. Land of the free. Y'all gonna have to feel this. Check this out. It's real. Supposed to be a free country, yeah, only if you got money. All I got is my independence, and they tryna take that from me. Want me to die for my country? You bet not confront me. All these tricks and these plots like I'm some kind of dummy. Turn your history books to page 256. Your life ain't worth the look unless you filthy rich. I spent all of these years just trying to survive. Now you want me to go to war so that I can just die over some kind of mess that I know nothing about. While you running your mouth up in your house, and if I say no, you gon' take me to jail. Well, I'd rather be dead than be stuck up in the cell. Live in hell, oh well, I got a life to live, and I ain't made out a will for my future wife and kids. I ain't gon' plead for my life, believe what I write, cause I speak so discreet that I breathe what I write. Living in the land of the free, home of the brave, but I don't feel free. I feel like a slave in the land where you praise only when you get paid. And spend all of your days trying to escape the grave. We in the land of the free, home of the brave, but I don't feel free. I feel like a slave in the land where you get praised only when you get paid. And spend all of your days trying to escape the grave. I can speak for myself, make my own choice, but this just won't help. They just don't hear my voice. There's something wrong with your speaker. I told you I'm not a preacher. I know what I know, but watch the student teach the teacher. Don't insult my intelligence with your ignorance. Try to kill me, I'ma kill you. That's just self-defense. My country tis a be sweet land of liberty, but if you ask me, we living up in misery. If a million niggas follow me, let's take it back, it's ours. But we all should be family. It's bigger than just black power. I got love for every race, every face, every place. So every night I pray to erase all the hate. Can't no politician stop my mission. Left incomplete submission. Didn't really wanna listen, but now I got your full attention. Look at what we facing. Destruction of a nation, played with so much separation and a lot of miscommunication. We living in the land of the free, home of the brave, but I don't feel free. I feel like a slave in the land where you praise only when you get paid. And spend all of your days trying to escape the grave. We in the land of the free, home of the brave, but I don't feel free. I feel like a slave in the land where you get praised only when you get paid. And spend all of your days trying to escape the grave. Now in this verse, I'm gonna hit them where it hurts. Everybody wanna run the church when situations get worse. Better empty out your purse. You ain't been to church in years. If so, you're one day Christian, just like the rest of your peers. When things get critical, oh now you wanna get spiritual. When it's all said and done, you'll be looking for a miracle. It's so pitiful how you react in times of danger. And on judgment day, God won't know you a stranger. How you gonna turn the American flag into an American flag? Put it up on your car when we were doing bad. Now you think things okay, so now you take it down. That don't seem too patriotic. It's some clowns around this town. Ain't got no love for no fakers, no haters and no traitors. Cause when it's all said and done, they the ones that betray us. And when it comes down to me, I just be all that I can be. But all I really can be is disgusted in the land of the free. We living in the land of the free, home of the brave, but I don't feel free. I feel like a slave in the land where you praise only when you get paid. And spend all of your days trying to escape the grave. We in the land of the free, home of the brave, but I don't feel free. I feel like a slave in the land where you get praised only when you get paid. And spend all of your days trying to escape the grave.
She just said a terrible thing. You know what she said? Shout it out, because I don't want to. Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's. That's terrible. Terrible.